Hey, did you did you start it? Oh, and we might, next episode not necessarily be about Cowboy Bebop, but you know, might give it 2 weeks in a row. Just see how this flows today. About, I mean, you and me have talked so much about Cowboy Bebop, and it's funny. Did you see that they did another Jerry Seinfeld of that getting coffee, cars getting, I don't know, getting, and I don't know. I just thought the beginning thing was really arrogant. I let the preview thing, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I usually thought Jerry is, and he's a little arrogant, but for the most part, he tends to roll back the humblest. But he didn't even name us, and it's not even like we were trying to do like his. We were going back and forth on what to name this whole show and all that. And coffee came in. I kind of felt like it was going to be like we're just kind of taking that name from his show, and he started naming all these different things. He's like all these things, but he didn't even name our show. And I was like, but then he said, you have to do it right. And I was like, well, maybe we are doing it right, and that's why I never named us. Like he's like if you're gonna copy off our show, he's like at least get it right, you know. And I was like, you know what, like I didn't even like your show that much the first season, so you're like equivalent to Bill Nye. Like I gave it one season and then I stopped. I don't know. I mean, I still think he's a funny guy, but like honestly, like the whole celebrity world is less and less that exciting to me. Stuff like this still gets my, you know. I mean, how many times we were fighting over what episode just to watch? 1 and 5. I'll give it to you. I could just play 5 and you wouldn't even be able to do shit about it. You wouldn't be able to do shit about it. How long till you would know? All right. Yeah, well, we're not that special. It's like facial recognition, but it's anime recognition. So I don't know. I'm just watching it. I love this anime down to like the core of it. it's just to me, it's just like why I love the tank beginning. Like, do you have to like pause it every once in a while? I was like, oh, it doesn't know now. So, who's your favorite character? I like. I mean, all right, all right. It doesn't have to be main character. Let's rephrase the question. Out of all episodes, like who's your favorite character?
Thank you, Sayusu. I was muted, not on Zoom. So that screwed me up. Actually, it wasn't even microphone wasn't even detected. But anyways, hey, thanks Sayusu for being here. Everybody else is jumping into Coffee with Crows. We're watching some Cowboy Bebop tonight. We are starting episode 1. Brad asked me what my favorite character was. I'd have to say probably Spike, Faye, and
But you're thinking two main characters. Think like out of all episodes, like in like unique character.
oh, unique character.
Yeah, I mean, you can still say Spike because I still think Spike probably is like the coolest character.
Okay, besides main characters, what was the one? I don't know. Sometimes it's like a choice between the two of them. You know, the other cowboy
Andy,
that what?
Andy.
Andy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about Andy too. He is,
And
he is. They made such a great character. I still say that's based off of Chuck Norris. I still want to believe that that's like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee like fighting each other exactly.
it kind of is too. You know, it kind
Just
of
the
is.
I don't know. It's just funny to me. Yeah, that was a great episode.
That was pretty good. I was also thinking about that other guy. But I do like. That's the reason I like this first episode is the woman that's with the guy. You know, that's doing the illegal sell with the eye
Yeah,
drug.
Asimov.
Yeah, Asimov.
What the woman?
She does a great job. I mean, she's. But besides that, also another one of my favorite side characters is the apprentice. You know, who's trying to get the fly ash to his sister. You
Oh,
know.
from Walk to the Venus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Fluid like water.
he's just constantly bugging Spike. Spike doesn't want anything to do with him. He's just
That's my
like
favorite.
master.
That's my favorite intro because they actually make like a successful bust of those people on the plane. I was like, wow, like they look like they're really bounty hunters
I
finally.
think that
Like,
was their only true successful bust without any kind of like any extra shit shit hitting the fan. It
did
was
they?
like
They never got the Ganymede reward. They should have gotten something. Oh, we closed it in hyperspace. We solved our own problem, suckers.
oh, and it's not the first episode. No, it's the second episode, right? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh yeah,
He crashes into the police station by himself
yeah,
with the other guys,
yeah.
and they get the
That was a
data
cool
dog.
fighter.
Hmm?
That was a cool fighter.
Yeah.
I like the I can't actually remember his name, but the boy who played the harmonica.
Oh, what is that? Song
I
for the
mean,
Devil, or
yeah,
what's the name of that?
it's something Symphony for the Devil. I think
Si-
must be
yeah, Sympathy for the Devil.
Sympathy. Yeah, you're right. It's not Symphony. I always think they all have music, but that one is Sympathy. I,
It's literally a boy that never aged. You know. But because he never did, he's had all this spite in his life, and he kind of became the devil because.
Yeah, that was a creepy guy. That was like that really to me that really was like the first episode that showed like it's gonna get a little bit stranger, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't think everything is so cut and dry because the first couple episodes, you know, I mean you need I think it was episode 6 when that was you needed that after 5, you know,
Yeah,
get away from all the tension of dishes.
I know, I know. I think.
You're the friends you got the date with.
That we did. We worked like there was no tomorrow. And what do we got to show for it?
You were planting seeds of a different kind, no?
Yeah. She just walked into the bar and all the guys like,
Yeah. They're staring at her because she's very well endowed. It's like,
what if you found out those are actually more more of the things filled up in there too?
yeah.
More of the drugs.
Hmm. I guess I like her because of the dynamic Spike plays there. Later on when she's
It really shows criminals aren't just it's insane. They get put in these positions and they have to make drastic decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they put themselves in the decision, in the situations at first. So
I'm gonna need a little proof. Let's have a demonstration.
What is the line he says?
what?
Like the secret code. What is?
When he
Oh,
says, yeah,
extra
keep those
tomatoes?
eyes open.
He's like, do you have it with extra tomato?
Oh, all of Bloody Mary with extra tomatoes. So yeah, I don't remember. I've got to rewind it now.
Yeah, I've got extra tomatoes in the back. Yeah, that was it.
He said I got the vodka, but I'm fresh out of juice.
Oh,
He said I think you got a can in the back. Man, Asimov really tore the joint up.
yeah. If you want to go ahead and watch with us too, we're watching the first episode. We're at the bar scene right now. I'd have more video up, but the streaming software just completely disallows anything like that. They ingrained it into their software system. It's crazy.
Also, Jet was so badass when he goes in the bar, and he's like Presidente, I'm so excited, dude. If they really make this Final Fantasy VII and he gets to play Barrett,
Is he gonna do that?
Yeah, dude. That's when I saw that, I was like, my life is coming true. Like my life is coming true.
Wow.
I know, such a perfect voice for Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be even kind of cool if Spike was Sid.
Yeah, I haven't.
I mean, there's other voices, but I just want Spike in it. He's badass. Whatever his name is.
I don't remember. What did Spike do in Trigun? What voice did he play for?
I don't know. He does a lot of voices. I can't remember his full name. I think his last name is Bloom or something. It's something like that. Do you remember? You don't remember? Should I look it up? Give him respect.
He did some other ones, but mostly they were like, bad characters. They weren't the hero character.
He did do one when all the bounty hunters, that's one of my favorite episodes with the chick with the eye, and all the bounty hunters were after him. I'm pretty sure he was one of the bounty hunters, and he's like, remember he was like, "This isn't worth my bounty" or something like that. Like,
for what?
I don't remember. It's so long since I've seen that episode. When all the bounty hunters in one episode, and the chick who had the eye who could like move super fast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Wasn't he like one of the bounty hunters who like kind of gave up on it? Like
was her name Dominique, the demon eye?
I like Trigun, but not as much as you. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It was a really cool anime, but Yeah, I love that scene right there when that guy starts talking about Asimov and he just knocks the one guy out at the bottle and then just grabs the other guy and puts it to his eye. Like, tell me some more, you
Tell
know?
me some more. I love that part.
And it's so crazy. Spike's a bounty hunter, and yet he tracks down Asimov into that small little area. Like, he's a good bounty hunter. He's a good bounty hunter. He just has really bad luck. Like,
yeah. It's,
I mean,
it's usually, I don't know if it's women that get him in trouble, but it seems to kind of go
oh
that
yeah,
way.
for sure. He definitely
know?
has his problem with women. You
It's-
want
I
to
don't
you
think
want to
it's-
try to deny it, but no, it's true.
I don't think he
Women
has
get
the
him in
problem with it.
trouble.
It's just like anytime a woman's involved, he gets so
So you don't fuck
tuned in that he loses his you know, sense of surrounding. He's so focused, you know.
Yeah. You never thought Julia would come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for some reason, it was always like
Sorry.
I thought she was dead. I thought she was just a ghost.
Does she only come back at the very last episode though?
At the very last episode, yeah, or maybe
But that's why I
the
wonder
sec-
if that was all just a dream.
the second to last episode.
Well, no, I guess it can't be that. That one wasn't a dream.
Just keep it.
Yeah, no, she comes back. She's like, he had a mess, but like she knew. It was crazy. I guess because she kept going, so she knew one day he would come back to that same area. It was all, history.
Wait, they were on Mars, right?
I guess so. Yeah, they must have been.
I think they were on Mars. Wait, were they on Venus? I don't remember.
No, the war was on Ganymede, but they were on Mars. He was a traveling. That's what he says. He's like, I was born on Mars. He's like, I'm actually a traveling performer. Just right now, he says it.
I was born on Mars.
I hear they have everything.
Yeah.
Not like here.
If you're rich.
Parks and vegetables, and the people are happy there. It must be a great place to live.
Just her voice is just really rich and fluent,
Yeah.
and it's like she's doing a perfect job. Like I can't tell this is acting. It just sounds real.
Planning to escape to Mars.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead and run. How far do you think you'll get?
You're right. I mean,
I'm
it's
just
just
an old-fashioned cowboy.
there's just a beauty behind it. me.
Fashion cowboy.
You're after us.
So you're a bounty hunter.
Boyfriend is
I don't know why. I don't know why I like this anime so much.
A wise decision.
Who's the small fry?
Who's the small fry?
That's enough. Let him go.
Dude, I think probably my favorite part in this whole episode is coming up when Jet finds him on the floor and he's like, having a good nap, eh?
Yeah.
He's almost dead.
My-
He's like having a good nap. So, Yusu, what's your favorite part in Cowboy Bebop, if you want to let me know?
In any episode or just in this episode?
Oh, yeah, Brad, what do you think? I guess you
In
like
the-
the El Presidente part, right?
I do like that part, and I also like the part when right after they fight the second time, and when Spike's in the sombrero,
That's
and,
really cool.
the other dudes come and start shooting, and he's like, where's Jet? And Jet just comes in and like wreaks havoc with that thing, flipping the cars over.
Yeah,
And he's like,
got
you're
a
late.
claw on his hammer. Like that's called the hammerhead. His spacecraft, but it's got like claws.
And it's got a harpoon.
Yeah.
Well, they said that his Bebop is like a boating vessel. Like it's really designed for boating, I guess.
I think so, yeah. No, but his hammerhead's personal ship.
Yeah, his personal ship, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of, I feel like the hammerhead matches to the Bebop. Like the harpoon kind of matches to the idea of a boating ship.
Hmm.
Like it kind of flows.
You know, they kind of like mix the whole idea of like a sky pirate, sailor,
Yeah.
cowboy, futuristic.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, he even had like tough challenges. I don't know. I mean, I've watched a little bit of that commentary and stuff, and like they said, they wanted something like from the future and all this,
Hmm.
and he had to really get it really unique on how he was going to do this. And I mean, he's down to the money because you realize now that we never really see ancient civilizations go past stone buildings and whatnot. You know, they build these solid structures, and it's the top of the line thing you can really do. You build solid anything.
Maybe
gonna
they
last.
did. I mean, the only thing I could probably throw in there is the Raycott Center. They've got rings of different colors of metals that are like melted into the ground around it, which to me lets me think that the metal just deteriorated over time. Some of it is a different kind of material, like auriculum was one of the metals they used, and it's just laying there as dust, like colored metallic dust. And if it was there at one point, it just over time, like the only thing that could still stand the test of time is a stone structure like a pyramid, you know?
Yes.
But like the Raycott Center is the only other thing I can think of that could have real metal that we could see, because you could see that from space. You could take a Google map and you could see that with color. You know, you could see the whole thing. It's insane.
I told you about that on Netflix, that PBS. Wow, my daughter really screams.
I was wondering, that can't be Faye.
I think she must know that I'm talking to somebody, so she's just trying to get attention.
I have to pay you back, don't I?
She's good.
Do you need a break?
If she comes down, probably my wife is just finishing the shower. Yeah, it's coming up. I want my fingers. What? I'm talking to Trigger.
Well, she want to see Bebop too?
Why, guys? Why I guess, you know, it's the only reason I'll ever get a DVD is like so my kid can see it one day. It's not so I can watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
Daddy.
What? Here. Here. Take this. And see that? Yep. Take it upstairs. Love you.
I'm gonna be okay.
I don't know. Can you still hear me cough?
Yeah.
I muted myself though. I didn't mute myself. So you're telling me you can still hear me like that? You can still hear me. Nope.
Yep. Yes, I can still hear you.
Oh. So that drug's gonna kill you. He's just like into his eye. Like, it doesn't work like that, Asimov. It's a spray. And I don't know why they didn't just like put it in like Pam cans, like psst, cooking spray. Psst.
I have no idea.
Also, if you cook your eggs with it, it'll just get you really, you know, speed it up. Who knows the possibilities of something that you spray in your eye?
So is that bloody eye literally like a superhuman
I don't know. I always kind of
antigen?
related it. If anything, it was like to meth. I mean, you can't. I guess like a PCP. I guess you can get a little bit like adrenaline.
Well, it
But
slows everything down for you to the point that you can like the guy was dodging bullets, you know?
it brings out the beast.
Yeah. it's it's basically Captain America serum.
Mike, get him while it's hot, buddy.
It's the Hulk.
Okay. I don't know if it's that, but
All right, fine. It's Captain America. Bell peppers and beef.
really can't call this bell peppers and beef. There's no beef.
He had some onions.
Ready.
What? What is it?
Special bell peppers and beef.
I love how he just takes the cigarette.
Just slowly
Like,
passes it to him.
Mike doesn't even say anything the second time. Like, you know what? Sounds good. I'm hungry. I don't really care.
I think the fact is once he has a shit day and he's been through a lot, he's like, you know what? It's cool.
That's true. You know, I forgot that our show lasts longer than 30 minutes. We can just play another episode right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We could do like
I
5
guess
or
that's
whatever.
true. All right. Sorry.
I really like that first one though. I think that actress is really good. The Asimov guy, he was pretty good too. The three Jokers that you always see in the next episodes. I mean, I love that iconic comedy scene of those
What
guys.
should
You know?
I have? I'll have a beer, please, barkeep.
Oh, Altison, hey, you're here. Hey, yeah, definitely go grab a beer, Altison.
You know,
How you doing
that's
tonight?
true. My wife promised me cold beer today. I never got it.
Hey, man, it's fine. I'm kind of on a fast for probably a month. I think I'm gonna do that.
I feel like having vodka and orange juice shots, but I don't know. I had soup with heavy cream in it earlier that I made. Might not be a good idea to mix that acidic.
Hmm.
Water's tasting alright. Yeah, so.
Yeah, go get one, Altison.
Oh,
We
crap, I
went through the
clicked
first
episode two.
episode.
See, now you
We're
gotta go
gonna.
back.
Brad wants to play number 5 because that was when he first saw it. Like my first time of seeing it was, I'm pretty sure it was episode number 1. So, you know, I really like that one a lot. I think the actress that's with Asimov, she does a really good job.
Alright.
I'm trying to remember 5 though. You just told me though, right?
Yeah, 5 is probably the best episode. Alright, I'll skip the intro this time though.
Yeah, just skip through the intros. Like,
Well, the first one's the only one that has that begin. Well, and I think another episode does, but has that beginning part too.
oh, we're doing the Vicious one, right?
The first of Vicious.
Oh, this is one of the best. Maybe my favorite. Probably my favorite.
See, this is also that iconic beginning image where they show the crater and the civilization inside the crater, and some kind of like atmospheric thing coming down. You don't exactly know what it is. Oh, Malian Rise stamping with his own blood.
The blood seal, all these secret societies do all the time.
I know.
Can we sign a contract with Wax? No, it has to be blood.
We
Why
have to
blood?
get another
Well, why
DNA
not? I mean,
sample.
it's blood.
Why do we not? Why do we do these? Like, I don't memorize people's thumbprints. Get another DNA sample, like chips out of the thing and all.
Mhm.
Does it match?
Dude, it's gonna suck in the future. You go to the bank and you gotta prick your thumb to prove it's you. Get a
Why exactly did Vicious do this? I mean, he killed them and he kills Mal Yenrai. He just wants anarchy.
I think he's going off an ideal.
it's like he never got done war. Look, you see him. Mountain Ride didn't ever plan for that, you know? He didn't plan for those guys to be, you know, he says that, you know, I can finally rest. And he dies, you know, he gets killed and those guys get killed.
Change. The syndicates can't survive like
You know,
this
he's saying the
anymore.
syndicates can't survive like this.
Bloodletting is tearing
This
us
like
all apart.
picking and choosing who's going to win. Like, just group together, you know, and make a council. And
They want to
like,
win by fighting
like,
who's ever the biggest.
Does Vicious want to be, or is see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at it from the angle of Vicious, it's so like, why he's living in the past too, dude. He can't wake up from his own nightmare. It's the same thing. Spike has to take care of Vicious because he's just you know, I mean, he's like every antagonist.
Well,
He
yeah,
won't stop.
yeah,
There's nothing that can change Vicious.
exactly.
You can't reason with him.
Exactly. Yeah, he's living in a past. He can't progress.
There's a fat bounty, plenty of info on the guy, and we have a lead. So what are you scared of?
Spike, you're avoiding the subject, and you know it.
You know,
What are you trying to hide from me?
and also he knows
Somebody mess up your arm, huh, Jet?
why
What does that have to do?
why would Mao Yen Rai even be on the target list? I mean, he's a syndicate boss, yeah, but he's so high up. That's not, you know what I mean? There'd have to be something that happened.
Hmm.
You know it's a setup. You would know. It would be all over the papers that Mao Yen Rai, you know, got busted.
Hmm.
It's a setup. Like, you know, Spike knew from the get-go it's a setup.
Since when? You're just
I think
walking
It's an invitation for Spike. It's what it really is. It's an invitation.
it sort of
Put that
is.
out
Yeah,
there.
I think
He knows Spike ran and he's a bounty hunter. He knows.
I think it's also a power play. Really, if you think about it, Vicious is making a power play. Anybody else that could be on the table for the power play, he's just going to cut them out. He
Right.
wants to take
Well,
that charge.
And he's telling Spike, like, I'm not afraid. Like, what do you need to come get me? Do you need a reason? Do you need somebody? Like, here it is.
Yeah,
You know, like,
Yeah.
what is it that you want? Like, finish this. We need to finish this. That's what's crazy about it. And when Spike says initially, like, what are you afraid of, Jet? Like, we have all the info, but it's really Spike who's afraid. It's almost like Spike and Jet aren't their own people. Only together can they actually be one real person. You can't say, oh, I only relate to Spike. You have to relate to Spike and to Jet because that's conscience. It's your back and forth
do whatever the hell he wants.
you
deciding.
really think
things.
that? Wow, I never thought about that like that.
It's all the characters. You can't
So
just
you're
be
saying
one.
Faye's the feminine part of your mind. Spike is the masculine. Jet is like the conscious. What is Ed, the comedian or the
Yeah, in a
child in
sense-
you?
In a sense, I'm just
then
saying,
Ed
like,
is the animal.
I'm just saying that every character in this is so one toned. They really never break character. People want more episodes. Why? Then you might have to see the characters change. Even in the movie, Spike had a bit more of a personality than he ever used to, and it was kind of threw me off a little bit. It made me feel like the movie was a little bit forced. I liked
yes.
it. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
I
no,
liked it.
I liked the movie, but it felt a little bit.
It felt like, okay, we've pushed our limits. Let's just stop. Like, you made the movie. Don't destroy.
It kind of felt like
it's
a retirement video, you know, like an after
Yeah.
scenes, like an after years or something like that. Now people will say, no, this was before this particular episode. It felt like it was after it all, because a lot of people question like the ending. They're like, well, he dies in the end, and I've argued this, and you've heard me talk about it forever. I think the very last episode, as soon as he's going to fight Vicious, it's all a dream scenario, because it just goes like this, like this, like this, like this. It just it changes so many scenes so quickly, and Faye's on his side. Spike or Jet just lets him go, doesn't argue. I mean, everything just works out Spike's way until the very end. Then he goes down in a flame. I mean, probably the most fantastical thing that I remember is that like the whole rooftop explodes. In what reality does an entire rooftop everywhere around completely explode, and you survive it. Like the whole sides blew out, the whole top blew out. It's all gone. And where did he get those kinds of explosives? He just ran in there with grenades. Spike just ran in there with grenades and some extra guns, and he didn't have a bunch of C4. I don't know. It just seemed to me, because at the very end, when Julie said what she said before, when Julie says what she says and you don't hear it, but then the next time at the very end she says it's all just a dream, it makes me think that the very last episode, at least half of that ending part, was just a dream scenario, and it was just his dream. And then the maker of the guy that made Bebop, he's like, I just wanted to let people imagine what happened, you know. That's where I went with that, and that's how I feel about it. What?
Malian Rai's daughter. And he's holding the nudie magazine. He's
oh, the kid that runs into the store, yeah.
But remember when she grabs the other kid and their boobs, they get it and they're like,
yeah.
Over to the police.
Oh my.
Oh my dear God.
Hey,
It's
isn't it bad for your health to drink it all in one gulp, Annie?
What's bad for my health is
It's
seeing
the-
you come back to life.
what would you feel if they? I've seen a few things done by a few different people of some live action. What would you feel if they did a live action of this? And how could they do a live action?
What, like people acted all this out?
Yeah. To me, it's
Um,
bound to happen. I mean, it's bound to really happen sooner than later.
We'd have to coordinate it to make it happen, though, Brad. I think we're probably the only two that would actually think about this.
Don't ask me too much.
I'd actually prefer if Spike was played by an Asian guy.
No, don't you call me that.
He just
There are only two
doesn't
people
really look
who
like a
can
white
use
guy to
that
me.
name.
Well, like a
his
taller
body
Asian guy
structure.
with
his
that
body
kind of
structure is just
like
too-
that kind of crazy. Well, kind of like my
I know.
hair, but maybe a little wavier and a little bit like that, I guess. You know, and then you got to color it green. There got to be a dark green if you're gonna
Yeah,
do it
I
like
wouldn't.
that, right?
I wouldn't
What's
want.
the reason for this?
I would kind of like how they did it in Brotherhood.
We've done a very thorough background check.
I guess that wasn't really like a live action, was it, or was it live action? The Full Metal Alchemist,
Oh, that's right. They had the movie.
and that was very bright and vibrant, and I really liked that about it. I would like the exact. I would almost like that Sin City feel of it.
Oh,
You know, very
yeah, that'd
dark
be
and
pretty.
mysterious. Like
Yeah,
you
that would
know.
be pretty nice, dude.
Spike's. He's not just a. He's not just. He's a detective. I mean, he's everything above the cowboy. You know. Yeah, you're trembling because now she realized it's all set up. He knows.
Vicious.
Yeah, it's crazy. Vicious is crazy. He knows whoever that girl is that's in this room knows Spike somehow. Like, he's nuts, dude. He just wants to fight Spike. He wants to die. He wants to die. His love of his life left him.
Yeah,
I don't tell you what to do. but
He
don't
just-
get
I think-
tangled up with this.
he doesn't mind if everything
Why
gets
am I
cut down.
It's useless.
Sorry.
Well, it's
You never listen to anything in your
it's
whole
like a
life.
paradoxing love question in a sense, you know? Spike never did it. He never,
And on top of that, you're a
you know,
stubborn show
the
off.
ultimatum.
You think it'd kill you
If
to
you're
listen
the
to your
woman,
elders
either I
voice?
kill both
No,
of you,
that's too much to
you
ask.
know, or I kill him. Like, make your decision. Like, you guys try to run away, I'm gonna hunt you down the rest of you, and
No one
if
could
you
talk
don't,
him out of it.
I'm gonna kill you.
So now,
The thing is, he never knew love. He knew property,
and now,
and that's what he thought
I think you've had enough.
with that.
not yet. This
'Cause he's
one's
like-
now.
Either you're mine or you're not. If you're not mine, I'm gonna kill you.
Now, I'm drinking
Yep.
myself.
You know?
But that's why Spike never came. That's what I'm saying. Spike left Julia hanging just as much. It's weird.
Well, wasn't he? Well, they were. I don't know if Spike and Vicious are really good friends, but I mean, they were.
They were.
They
When
were
they were in the
kind of friends, not like the other guy.
they fought in the war together. I mean, that's.
But not like the other guy. Remember, Jump to Venus or something?
Here's
Or
the girl. When she saw the bounty,
what's the name of the episode?
You
The one
mean-
guy.
Grimm? You mean the?
Yeah, Grimm. Yeah. They were really good friends, or at least Grimm thought he was really good friends with
It's already dead.
Vicious, although that wasn't really the case. It was just kind of like
Between rival crime syndicates, you understand?
they had a
Yeah.
couple.
I felt like Grimm was almost like the Final Fantasy VII feel of
Wait. is this
Spike
actually-
and
Yeah, that's a payoff.
and Zack.
Hmm.
Like Grimm is Zack and Spike is Cloud.
This is what I
You know,
do.
in that sense of like
Too gung-ho and running ahead of the game.
He was the real. He was the real.
Grimm thought he was like everything, or I guess it'd be the other way. Like Grimm is Cloud. I guess Grimm thought he was everything of Vicious, but really, he was never even on Vicious' radar. Vicious was always with Spike. It was more than that. Like there was a three-way thing with Julia and all that.
Who asked you to go off on your own?
Come on now.
I don't know. It's
You brought this on yourself, so deal with
Where
it
are-
yourself.
wait.
We're busy.
No, wait, Jet.
where are you?
Where are you?
You mean you're really going to come for me?
Well, it's possible.
It's possible.
First,
Spike.
I love this song too.
I don't feel a thing.
Yeah, this is one of the most epic parts in the show.
Yeah, that's why I love this. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. This is where I first started changing the channel, and I saw this, and I was like, "What is this?" It was probably this song. That's why, and I was like, you see Vicious sitting here, and I'm like, "What is this show?" Spike's walking up in his trench coat into this church. Vicious waiting with his sword. I'm like, "Yo, what is this show?" This is why I'm serious. This is where I first started, and it's like, "What is this show?" Of Spike, and I'm like, is it gonna go down? I was like, is this really gonna go down like my dreams of a battle? And it did, and that's what I mean. Like it went down, and I was like, holy jeez, like Spike's throwing grenades and crap. This dude's got a grenade launcher. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it had that same kind of Last Man Standing feel.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
You know, just it can't happen. It wouldn't happen, but yet here it is happening. One dude taking on a whole army that just won't.
Don't they show
die.
previous pictures of him initially beforehand when he
Yeah,
originally
oh, yeah,
went to the
yeah.
church? And
When
he's got the roses, but in the roses is an Uzi.
Right.
So he just like turns the roses over. You know,
Yeah.
like it doesn't look like he's armed, but he is. You know, he's packing. You know, then he's got the grenade. He's always running with grenades, but that's what I was saying earlier. That the ending scenario didn't seem real to me because he's always got hand grenades. But how did the whole entire roof explode? And you know, it's not there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right here is what he says. He says, "I'm just living a dream that I'll never wake up from." You know,
Yeah.
like it's almost like the Terminator. That if you think about it, it's just a conundrum. You can't really have the Terminator because it's just a loop in time. It can only happen in its own loop anymore. Everything else would just have to go around it because that just spirals around. You know what I mean? Like it can't happen because it would just keep. Time would never.
I could
cease,
see that. Yeah, it would turn into a
Time would
closed
never
loop.
cease to go past because it would just keep looping back around to that same point. You never know what happens beyond. You know, I don't know. From one perspective, I don't know. Time travel.
It's kind of a sexy part when Faye's like about to get shot and she jumps up and she's, you know, she's bouncing around. And she's trying to dodge bullets in a dress when she's tied up.
And, there's another great example, like with Final Fantasy VII, that they've decreased Tifa's boob size. And I said, you know, she's probably just got a breast reduction. I mean, think about like how much pain she probably has in her back. Like she's so small. Like
There's what women do complain about that, you know.
would they do that to Faye if it was a live action? Would they allow Faye to be smaller boobs? I mean, is that part of?
I think she's normal size, appropriate size.
I don't want to get into the whole conversation of is that part of somebody's character.
I don't know. I'm just saying the way she was drawn, the way like I don't see her being like a Tifa. She's not like quadruple G or whatever that was that you saw. I mean, Faye's like she's like a she's like a
Really? She has pretty big boobs. She's wearing that yellow.
She's
thing.
like a model. She's like a model essentially.
She's like a the casino girl. That's
Yeah.
really what she. That's really what she is.
Yeah.
That you know.
Beast. The same
Ravenous beast.
The blood of a beast you want. The blood of others. And bled all that kind of blood away.
I bled all that kind of blood away.
I love that. Like they just.
That's one of my favorite lines, though. Is I bled all that kind of blood away.
It just still grabs Spike's face and throws him out the church. But Spike still throws a grenade in. It's like these people.
He's just like, oh, here you go. Just drop. He's like, I'll leave you with a present here.
I think that the whole point of episode 5 is for you to really see, like, it's all a dream. Like that's the whole, like you said about the last episode. I've constantly wondered if just the whole thing's a dream.
I don't know if they're all a dream, but here's the thing, because
Spike fell out of a church.
I know.
Vicious got hit by a grenade at point blank up top range.
Exactly.
They should be dead. Both of them should be dead.
Exactly.
And this is like the 4th time that Spike's fallen out of these huge buildings.
But I know exactly. This anime shows futuristic stuff,
I mean,
which
like
I get.
Punisher.
He has a prosthetic eye, but
so
this isn't Dragon Ball Z.
Oh man, Spike versus the Punisher.
But dude, this isn't Dragon Ball Z. They don't go Super Saiyan. If you die, you die. It's over. Like, so some of these episodes, it's like this just like can't. This makes no sense. It's like it's skipping through time lapses. Like if you're in a dream, you'll be from one place and you'll be in another place. You don't remember how you got to that next place. You're just there. That last episode is skipping time events. Like, okay, now he's here. Okay, now he's here. Okay, now he's up on the top of the roof. Okay, now this roof exploded. Okay, now
that's what I'm saying. As Spike's falling, he's remembering back to the last time. But I feel like the last time is the same as the last episode when he's flipping the grenade. So that's what I'm saying. It's like he already did all this. He already battled Vicious, and they're already all dead. But Spike just can't seem to his ghost can't let go.
So you think he's reliving a past event? And he's just imagining it.
It's his
with
hell. It's his hell.
New details.
It's too weird.
Because look at the idea of the fact of that whole syndicate thing, right? Shouldn't they be coming after him? I mean, as a cowboy now, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they try to get him if he if he was still a part of it, or if it was destroyed, nobody would care, right? But if it was still operational and he was still a part of it, wouldn't somebody be coming after him? But I don't know.
I guess they sometimes kind of do, right? Wasn't there one time when I'm pretty sure?
I was starting to worry about you. Hey, you should be grateful for staying here.
I gotta.
You sing off key. Well, is that what you're thinking, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was saying, however it matters how people can feel about it, it seems like the future for character design is fluid. You can have a James Bond be a woman or black or any Asian or any race. James Bond, I can kind of see a little bit more. I mean, I didn't see the woman thing coming, I guess. I'm not trying to pick sides, but that was a bit of a curveball just because I felt like, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. After Albert R. Broccoli died, I really stopped caring that much, to be honest. Honestly,
yeah.
I loved GoldenEye. I loved GoldenEye so much as a child. It's just timing of my life. And the N64 coming out, and
I've heard that they're actually going to make a Ghostbusters 2020. I think I had that on my. It was on my chat like a few days ago. Ghostbusters 2020. So it's gonna be a sequel apparently, like a third. So all right, what are we gonna watch now? Are we gonna do the Pierrot guy, or are we gonna do?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, you know what? Let's do the funny one. Let's do the one where they eat the shiitake mushrooms. Or
I was thinking about doing the mushroom one. I got.
I don't know. Is comedy wise, that is definitely my favorite.
You don't want to go in chronological order of. Now, see, now you got me going 1 and then 5. The next one would. I don't know.
Okay, what do you want to see? What was your next one you wanted to?
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe the mushroom one would be good. I don't know. I gotta look. I want to pick one that's like unpopular.
Okay.
Let me see.
Oh, you know what? You know one that might be unpopular, as the what's in the fridge, or what's the title of that one? Do you remember that one though? He's too far away. Yeah, everybody, we're just kind of going over some of the movies. If you want to share your experience with Cowboy Bebop too, that's cool. We'll be here watching some episodes.
I think we can skip all the ones on second. I mean, I like Sympathy for the Devil, but I don't feel like watching it. And I'm the only one who gets to watch it.
Who died? Who's a corpse? You think Spike died? Yeah, man, I don't believe that.
What was Toys in the Attic about?
Was Toys in the Attic? Oh, that was the one with the fridge, with the monster in the fridge, right?
Was that early? No, I thought that was
that was pretty
later.
early. That was pretty early. I mean, a lot of people think he died, but the way they say the very ending, you know, Julia says she says it once to Spike that you don't hear it, and at the very, very end of the entire thing, she's like, you hear what she says, and she says it's just a dream.
All right.
And that's what makes me think it's all.
I got a better idea for you.
Like, at least that part, and like what Brad's talking about earlier is like, because he falls out of a 40-story. He has a 40-foot drop.
Realistically, at minimum, it had to be 3
But
stories.
it's a church window out
of cement church flooring into stairs right below
onto
it.
concrete.
Concrete, yeah.
Onto concrete. And he drops a grenade in Vicious's face as he's falling.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, he's like the Punisher. Like, he just doesn't go down.
If he was in front mission, he would be dead. If he was in front mission, he'd have 45 hit points.
So, I'm not going to tell you what the episode is, but...
It's just that most of Cowboy Bebop is, like, very realistic. It's not like... I mean, there are some futuristic things, but...
It's realistic because you realize that, you know, future isn't just so...
Because they have they have warp gates. They have warp gates.
Well, of course you're gonna have these big things, these big inventions, because the money's gonna get funded for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the average person's not gonna be having, you know, everything. The average person is probably still gonna live poorly, except for some areas, communities.
Which most of them kind of did, you know.
I mean, they did go to Tijuana, you know, but. All right, so I need to pick an episode, and you have to figure out which one it is.
Wait, so you want to pick an episode, then I pick an episode. Is that how you want to do it? Because if I'm going to pick an episode, my next episode is the.
I could.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
No. I'm gonna. All right, I have the episode I'm gonna play, and you're gonna have to figure out which one it is.
Okay. I don't know if I can remember the name of the episode. I might get close, but I remember like all of the episodes as far as like the video and like what happens in them.
These are old DVDs, so I hope it doesn't skip.
If I don't, I'll be surprised at myself for not remembering because I watch this at least once a year.
I'll let you double down,
Everywhere.
and if you can tell me the actual episode number too, because this is a rare one to be able to get the episode number.
I couldn't. I don't think I'm gonna get the number right, but
This is a rare one to get the episode number.
I might get close to the title of the name. But I will know what happens in the episode though. If once
and
we get
really,
going.
it's all about how fast can you get. I mean, you're gonna know what episode it is, but how?
Oh yeah. Everybody struggles with the amoeba, and Ed eats it in the end. She's like, "Oh." Well, what does she say?
In the attic? I thought that was so much later in the episode.
Well, she's like,
but
what did she say? Mushrooms or?
Episode.
Oh, bro, she said, "Oh,
pudding."
Oh, no. She falls asleep. That was that. And then that's all they had to do. And she must have given off the antibody just by breathing at that point.
Again, weird.
They should have all died, right? They should have all died. I think they should have all died there, though.
It was like something that living in the rock lobster that evolved and started leaving the habitat that it was in and was able to survive in a less cold habitat around the ship.
Yeah, it was just like a slow evolution, but as soon as he opens the fridge, they don't show you much of the fridge, but it looks like a really scary sight. Like it turned into a jungle of mushrooms and culture and life.
A whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it was a whole ecosystem. He opens up, he's like, oh, he closes it right away. Like, no.
It's like you have. All right. I think I might have asked you this movie before, but have you ever seen Life Aquatic?
Life Aquatic?
Yeah.
I mean, it reminded me like an underwater.
Bill Murray.
No,
and he's on a boat, and what's the guy with the nose? Owen Wilson. And Owen Wilson's Bill Murray's son, and Bill Murray's like he's an old like marine biologist and stuff like that, and they're trying to investigate this new shark in these deep waters. And it's really slow. The movie's really
Is it a comedy?
slow. Yeah, it's a comedy. It's kind of the same idea, I feel like, sometimes with these kind of movies, with these kind of episodes. Like, you have to understand that, like, it doesn't mean it's really going to happen. You know?
Are you going to play it, or?
Yeah. Let's see how long it takes for you to get it.
I'd have to see what you're talking about, though. I haven't seen it, though. I've seen a lot of Bill Murray stuff, though. You remember What About Bob, right?
Yeah.
So you mean I have to untie these emotional knots inside of me so that I don't explode? I got it. He takes it into the house, and then the doctor's like, "Well, where'd you put the bomb?" "Oh, it's in the kitchen."
You still don't know what episode it is?
Let me hear it.
I think you forgot this.
But what would an old part like me be doing with a stuffed toy? I don't have any Rugrats either.
But I didn't say it was yours now, did I?
Yeah, it's a customer's. The kid probably lost it.
Hey, listen, the evening's young. I know a rockin' joint. Care to join me and check it out?
I hit the sack early. I'm not a night person.
It's a first-rate hotel that offers free bodyguard service and meals. The place has every amenity. One could live there.
I'm sure they require reservations.
Nope, you don't need one for Hotel Prison. Teddy Bomber.
Nice offer, but I'll pass. Spike Spiegel.
Oh, you know me?
Anyone who has a price on his head knows who you are. We dread getting caught by either you or Andy.
Andy?
Now you definitely know what episode it is.
Wait, they meet Fats McGee, right?
Fats McGee?
Or is it just name is just Fats? Or Fatty? His name is just Fatty, right?
No, that's not this episode.
Sorry, pal.
That's the...
Because I pulled the ignition pin out.
That's the, with Giraffe and the kid on the harmonica. Look.
$3 million, pal. Those Wulongs are mine.
There's more than one bear.
You'll be killed too.
Well, nobody lives forever.
Why do you want to blow everything up?
Because, Spiegel,
It's the...
that's how I deliver a warning. I'm sounding the
How
alarm.
do you not know which one it is?
Oh, it's the one with Andy.
Better
It's a Teddy Bomber. He always wants all the attraction, all the attention, and then they just completely ignore him and they just go head to head, trying to have an ego trip off of each other.
Which is why I think that it's Chuck Norris.
And then Andy keeps thinking that Spike is the bomber. Andy's just dumb. He's just like...
Reach for the sky, Teddy Bomber.
Who, me?
I figured that you'd plant an explosive here today. It wasn't difficult after I studied your crime patterns and profiled your criminal mind.
That's your serial bomber there.
Yeah, right, that old security guard.
Look at his face.
Faces are too unreliable to count on nowadays.
Faces are too unreliable to count on these
Well,
days.
my gut instinct and inspiration.
Hey, come back here.
Which episode number is this, though? So I can tell everybody if they want to see it.
Take a guess.
It's what?
Take a guess. Let's just double down.
I can't remember. Is this season 2? Season 1?
No. Season 5, episode 22.
Okay.
That one was mighty close. Yeah, get up and down.
What was the thing Teddy Bomber, what was the statement he wanted to make? Like, isn't it?
He was going after credit card
What was you
companies.
say? Of course, correct.
He was like, we have to like equal the everything and take these massive corporations down and all this. Like, he's like, people are glued to their I'm pretty sure that's what it,
Okay, chill. Totally buy the horse. But you're lacking creativity in the cowboy character.
he said, I totally buy the horse, but you're lacking creativity in the cowboy character. Spike's just so pissed by him.
A member of the YMCA. How about that?
He's a Christian.
No, not that wide. The Young Men's Cowboy Association.
Not that wide.
Not that wide. The Men's Cowboy Association.
He's a Christian?
He's a Christian.
The others.
That figures.
Young Men's Cowboy Association.
He's the heir to the Aniate Ranch.
And he's pretty handsome.
Damage to private property.
You know, I should do that. I should do that, man. I should make a YMCA for my channel. Anybody that wants to be part of the Young Men's Cowboy Association can join. Be fantastic.
You know what's funny is how they all make it like that he's better than Spike instantly. Like they're like he's inheriting all this money and he's handsome. Spike's like, am I just being replaced by Andy?
You sure about that?
His type is more concerned with his
It's almost a joke on like reality too, though, isn't it? Like they're both kind of in the same game, but one of them's really dumb, just has a lot of money, good looks. He gets all the respect. The other guy that actually does all the shit that has to happen, whatever. You know, like
All about making love and peace in the world, Superman.
Yo.
How did you know it was me? This baby showed us the way to Papa.
Yeah, and the teddy bear suit wasn't a tip-off at all.
And the teddy bear suit wasn't a tip-off at all. Dude, you're Teddy Bomber and you're wearing a giant teddy bear suit. Like, you don't think that was a bit of a thing we might want to look at a little bit closer?
everybody is so googly-eyed over Andy though that they just like miss everything, and even he misses everything too. Spike is like, come on guys, like.
Yeah. Faye sees Andy and she's like he's telling the truth. Like,
I know that's you, Teddy Bomber. Huh? Who, me?
who, me?
I told you.
Or is it you?
Are you brain dead or what?
Are you brain dead?
We saw each other yesterday.
I don't recollect.
Why?
Aren't allowed in
Horses aren't allowed in here.
Aha! Hi, Onyx is no ordinary steed. She's a good compadre who uses my mind.
If it's one thing I hate, it's being
Ignored. I like how Faye follows Andy. You know, like I'll go with Andy. Let's see what happens here.
My, what a lovely animal.
They always say, dude, this is such an old cowboy episode too. They have that whistling in the wind.
Yeah, I know. Well, they did so many different styles of music. I mean, the
well, they have every time he's there. It's like, you know, they do that.
The guy's driving his car, and Andy's like chasing him in a horse. And Spike's just flying down with a spaceship, shooting on the main street with people everywhere.
He just, it's almost like a giant.
Look, Andy shoots at Spike still, and knocks all the stuff everywhere on the street, almost killing tons of people.
Hey, Lucid, hey.
Dude, so much carnage created.
Dude, this episode,
because of these bounty hunters.
Dude, this episode is all about the ego trip.
Yeah, Andy's on the horse, and he crashes. Teddy Bomber crashes, and Andy just keeps driving right past because he's chasing after Spike instead of. He's not even chasing after Teddy Bomber, the guy who's blowing it. He doesn't even care that the guy's blowing everything up. That's what makes it so great.
I think he's brain dead.
The guy goes, and Teddy just keeps riding, and Andy just rides on the horse right past Teddy. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Prepare for a treat. This is my own special recipe.
Yeah, how's it going, Lucid? Tonight, we are watching some Cowboy Bebop, so we are on... what's the name of this episode?
Cowboy Funk.
Cowboy Funk?
I think. Yeah.
It's with Andy, and Andy's another bounty hunter. Well, a wannabe bounty hunter. He's kind of brain dead.
Andy is bounty hunter. He's the best bounty hunter.
I'd have to say.
Well, he retires at the end, though, doesn't he?
And boy, what a rush. Like
He goes, I tip my hat to you.
But seriously, such a dangerous line of work seems unnecessary.
Now I understand why no one goes after Teddy Bomber.
Now I understand why nobody goes after Teddy Bomber.
Some damn explosion. Well, we can't worry about that. Man, I can't worry about that. My mind is set. Well, I'm wearing blinders. Nothing else matters.
I like how Faye looks at him like, where have I heard this before?
Now, why don't we drink to me?
Drink to
My
me.
reflection in your lovely eye.
And my reflection in your lovely eye. Oh, it's
I like to
it's
check
like
out my reflection in your lovely eyes.
Phrases like that to just make me wish I was still single, just to be able to say that to people. Why don't we drink to me? And my reflection in your lovely eyes.
I'm not gonna eat this can of crap.
But it's all we've got.
I'd rather starve.
Why is he even selling like canned food?
Dude, that's what I'm telling you. This whole thing's a big ego trip. Like,
Too much alone.
everything about Andy.
What part of me could be anything like that stupid ass?
Hey, we're missing big shots. It's already on.
Our final news item is on Pet Power in Teddy Bomber, aka TV.
TV sent the letter to our station to read on our show.
Remember they say we don't have time. Remember TV sent a letter to our station to read. Oh, we don't have time.
Is that when they're getting that's not when they're getting canceled, right?
This time I'm
No.
gonna blow you up as well by fireworks.
Shucks, howdy, that's a rather large stone.
A
My purpose for doing this. Oops, that's all the time we have. Like nobody cares what his purpose for it is.
Here's gonna blow up City Hall.
You know already?
Targets have been by height, starting with the tallest building.
Really? Was something as simple as that?
I'm out. I don't want this.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass too.
But what about you?
This is Spike. What about you?
Ask.
If you had to ask.
No. They're late. Damn them. Those fools are sadly mistaken if they think they'll get away with this. No.
You alone? Remember? You alone?
How dare you insult me by showing up late?
The guy's, the old man's just whistling.
You know, it has never been my intention to murder anyone. But in your case, I'll make an exception. You deserve to be hurt.
It's that dang horse.
He's here.
So, you again.
Finally remembered me, huh? You're always
butting in. Stay out of my way.
What? You're the one who's always in the way.
Now that I have both of you gentlemen here together, I will explain my reason for going up there. The reason is, let's settle this once and for all.
Damn it. Stole my line.
Why won't
Settle
you
this
listen
once
to
and for
me? Shut up! What do you want?
Shut up.
And he goes, "Who are you?"
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, "Who are you?" You're the main reason you're supposed to be there.
He goes, "Shut up." And he goes, "Who are you?"
Grossly underestimated me. That elevator door is never going to open again. Soon the car will
Remember, he's like, "I rerouted him earlier today." He goes, "I rerouted him earlier today."
There, my adorable little teddy bears are waiting to greet you. And at the very moment the elevator reaches them, boom! Let me leave you with a word of advice. Enjoy the rest of your lives without regret. Good luck!
I don't remember what happens. How do they get out?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Don't panic. I'm one step ahead of old Teddy.
He goes, "I'm one
Rest
step
assured,
ahead."
I know exactly how his mind works.
I knew that he would alter the secret emergency access code, so I reverted it this afternoon.
But I reverted it this afternoon. I did. And you did. That means it's back to what it was. Moron!
What do we do? Oh no!
Just knocking on heaven's door out this end.
Let me talk! Get out of my way!
They would just totally die, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But what happens to him? I think it blows up, right? Yeah, it does blow up. That's right. They were fighting each other up there.
Don't they run across the skyscraper that's blown up, or the?
Yeah, they start fighting. Watch, yeah, look at Faye. Snook. Knocks Teddy Bomber out, no problem. Faye takes the bounty on that one. Faye, at least Faye's not stupid, you know?
Yeah.
She knows, you know, Faye's like, "I'll let Spike go, and he'll take care of Andy, and I'll just take the easy bounty right after." she played that right.
We're climbing up like a couple of monkeys.
I guess they like to be up high.
Scary. Like
I guess they like to be up high.
yeah, all right. I have to drop this guy off first.
Yeah, that's right. Now I remember because they do get caught. See, there's another success for him.
You don't even deserve to stand in the shadow of a cowboy.
You're one person who I could never forgive.
You don't even deserve to stand in the shadow of a cowboy.
Such a crazy fight too. So who do you say, you know, just remember, oh yeah, right there when Spike just goes, ugh, and the whole thing crumbles down like he's so angry.
Oops.
He goes, that was some punch. Remember? He's like, I tip my hat to you. That was some punch.
You win. That was some punch.
That was some punch.
I see now that you're the real cowboy.
You win.
I like how his horse just comes out of the elevator, like out of nowhere. Like, what was it, just waiting in the elevator? And how's that elevator even running?
What are you gonna do now?
What are you gonna do now?
I have no doubt I'll find something.
See you, space cowboy.
It took 22 episodes for you to understand why they say "See Space Cowboy." See Space Cowboy.
It was only a rich boy's hobby. He was on a different level, or should I say, out of his league.
Or should I say out of his league?
Hey, listening,
Yeah.
and he wasn't my adversary after all. So of course I never really had anything personal against the guy. Hey, are you listening?
Yeah. Well, anyway. What were you trying to achieve by blowing everything up?
What were you trying to achieve?
I only wanted to send out a warning against the needless waste created by capitalism without philosophy, the needless colonization of planets, the needless circulation of slanted media, and needlessly tall buildings that symbolize all of this. You see, by destroying these monoliths, I intended to remind the world what the pioneering spirit is truly about. Wait!
No.
Call me Musashi!
Chinomaru.
Kobe Musashi.
It was all needless too, wasn't it?
I got the officer just pats him on the back like, poor guy, you know. Like, dude blew up buildings like crazy. Probably one of the most successful people they ever caught, you know. One of a lot of buildings.
Needlessly tall buildings he wanted to blow up just to what did he say, to reclaim the pioneering spirit of humanity?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody ever cared about his cause. No, that whole thing was an ego trip. Like, he wanted to make sure his voice was heard. Nobody listened to anything he had to say. And he wanted to make sure his voice was heard. Almost everybody was listening to what he had to say. Spike was pissed because nobody listened to him. And they all ignored the main objective. It just somehow ended up getting accomplished anyways. But you saw at the end there when Spike accepted Andy's loss, he was kind of like, oh, okay. He sort of had respect for him, you know, the horse coming out of the freaking elevator.
What are you going to do now?
What are you going to do now? Like, he's the main guy. Like, oh, I'm so awed with you.
So you can be that good to me and you can still do other stuff? I'm just a bounty hunter, you know? You should know this one just by the music. I just did this one because it's on the same disc.
Oh, are you doing Perot?
Mm-hmm.
The Mad Perot? This one's really cool, but I don't know if there's any like dialogue in this one at all.
That's true. There isn't a lot of dialogue in this one.
You could just act out every scene, probably. That might work.
Thoreau is probably the freakiest enemy, though.
Yeah. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, though, just because this is like...
They explain everything, too. It's not like it's just out of nowhere.
This is probably the only enemy that I think Spike can't. I think it was just random happen chance. It was literally random happen chance why he beat him. Otherwise, Spike could never have beaten this guy.
Yeah, it was just luck that Spike won that.
A lucky cat. The Mad Perot. Do you want to do this, or do you want to like pause this here and maybe do stuff later, or what?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, do you want to talk about it now, or?
Talk about what?
Well, everything else, or do something else. Do stuff. Eltison says do stuff.
I'm pretty tired.
Pretty tired?
I'm not gonna... I was playing Rocket League earlier.
Hmm.
Debating on playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could talk about it a little bit, but or maybe some other stuff too. But
talk more about Cowboy Bebop. I can always talk about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, we could talk about it a bit. Yeah, the whole thing is like I watched it so many times. First time I always thought, oh man, that sucks he dies. Always felt for him. Then later on I thought, that can't be real. I mean, like what you said, he falls out of a 3-story, 4-story building on concrete, on his back, on his head. Vicious gets a grenade to his chest.
He has visions of him falling out of a building before too, right? Didn't it happen before? Or he has visions of him going through a battle and blood definitely coming down his head. So, I mean, people were shooting. You assume he was probably shot somewhat.
Yeah, he's been in battles though, but I don't know. Like that scene seems like it seems very dreamy in a sense. I never really thought that one was, but you made a good connection point there. But I really do feel like the very, very last episode is literally just a dream because Faye cries for him. She's sentimental for him. Jet lets him go.
Yeah, it's like she knows he's going to go. They all know he's going to go.
But Jet just lets him go. Like before he was arguing, or he's like, no, if you're not going to be here, don't come back, or something like that. He just kicked him out. He doesn't care. And then when he comes back and it seems like a dreamy episode, then Jet's all, I'm your best bud, like they're really good friends. Faye's falling for him, which she practically never does.
Well, I think they all know, it's like it has to happen. It's the same thing with Jet. Everybody's kind of everything's kind of come together for it. Spike was the first character that you see a story of, and then you get Ayn finds her dad and everything about her. Faye finds out where she grew up and everything about him. Jet revisits the guy who set him up and was able to finish the past of him. Everybody clears their past.
And then the very last one is Spike clearing his past.
And Spike has to clear his past.
But it's a dreamy scenario there.
I mean, that's the thing. It's almost like all these people are guiding you. It's like, you see that we can clear our past. You have to clear yours. And I'm saying, Vicious won't go away. Dude, he won't go away.
It's also the Native American guy that he goes to see. First time he's like, that's really mystical and all, but you got anything to eat? It's like he's there to help him on his journey, That's why you see at the end, the swimming bird has found its way. I think he's talking about Spike, or else maybe no, he was talking about the other guy that was friends with Vicious. or somebody found that. Oh man, he talked about the guy that died. That was Vicious's friend, and the Native American uh, talked about his ending. But
When it says a star,
yeah,
he's talking about he's like a shooting star.
exactly, yeah. But I think their pasts are. We get to see their past in a present tense, and for Spike, it seems like we get to see his present in a past tense with that scenario.
Yeah,
Because
there's definitely
she says it's just a dream when you don't hear it, and then it repeats at the very end when you do get to hear it. At the very end when she says just a dream, so it's kind of like she's reaffirming to him,
well, it's
like
almost like
you would be dreaming, and it'd be like your dreaming partner would be like, it's just a
he's
dream.
not
This
ready
is
to
a dream.
accept it yet. I think it's more along the lines that she says it, but he's still not ready to accept it
He's not ready to accept it's a dream. Yeah,
until Vicious and him finish things. That's the only time that he can actually find out it actually is just a dream.
yeah.
And it's really not just a dream; it's his purgatory. It's his afterlife. Because he died and he never finished what he started with.
Are you saying that like most of that is him in a purgatory trying to like?
That's what I think. That's how I look at it.
So he's been dead, but he's like going through like a limbo purgatory kind of thing, just kind of like figure out how to end things. Or
he died, but he kind of like he ran from her, didn't he? He just never came. He never showed up that day. So didn't Vicious go after him? I mean, wasn't that the whole point? Or did he just run away?
he went back. The thing is, I don't get how he got. You know how he was having troubles getting back to the jet or getting back to the Bebop, getting back and forth, and then instantly, like the next episode, he's already back there. Doesn't say how he even got there. Doesn't say how he got to the place safely enough.
Well, if you notice,
it just the whole last episode jumps around so much. It just reminds me of like what a dream would be like.
Episode
What a dream
5,
is.
They don't mention Julia. If you notice that, they really are just two characters who go off on each other, talking about like this is just a dream, and we can't wake up for this until why are you still alive? Vicious can't die until Spike dies because Spike's dream is keeping Vicious alive. He can't. So, that's what he's saying. He's like, I've bled all that blood away. It's like, then why are you still here? Like, why? And that's the thing.
So he's asking how he's still.
It's like a demon. Like Vicious is a demon.
Is this Vicious's dream that we're seeing?
In a sense, yeah. I guess.
Is it like? I mean, because I don't know if that sounds a little bit out there, but maybe that's all been Spike's dream that whole time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think. Those people are helping him like guide to where he has to go. But
so you think that whole time is that Native American is saying, "Oh, this person has gone to the next astral plane level or whatever they've gone to." He gives them a spiritual name of like Swimming Bird or
Swimming Bird.
Yeah.
Running Bull. Remember he calls somebody else Running Bull or something like that? Or...
Yeah. Doesn't he call Vicious the Snake, or did he not refer to him?
I don't know. I'd have to watch all of them again. I was thinking about putting in 25 and 26.
Yeah. No, I think we should save some for
another day,
another night.
Yeah, I mean I know it seems out there. Like I said, it's just there's so many characters that come into Spike's life that he never had. Spike was always so driven, and all of a sudden he has Jet, who is this like you sure that's a good idea? And then even more, he has Faye, like somebody else can care about you. And then he has Ein, where it's like not everything's so serious.
Oh, and Spike couldn't beat Ein's father. He
Yeah.
couldn't beat Ein's father. I mean, Ein's father wasn't going to kill Spike, but like Spike was like, how?
In a sense, it's almost like saying like they're like spirit guides. So it's like he couldn't be able to beat, I like if you try to battle any of those, they're like, gods
That is the
practically.
most trippy thing ever. But I can almost jump on board with that. That the whole entire thing was just a spiritual way for him to.
And really the Bebop, yeah, like they're just showing Spike, like this is how I learned who I was, and this is how I handle it. Like now it's your turn. Like you must do it. You must
But
finish
but the
what you
thing is,
started.
like some of those episodes had to have been real, where the people in them.
Yeah, but it's almost like the red dwarf or Star Trek. You're in space. There's really idea of space and time. What I mean, like it's a distortion. That's how I look at it. Like it doesn't space. You can be out in months. Think about. I mean, you can go through these warps, but we don't know how long. You could be in there for months to get to Mars. And these things just happen. I mean, you start to think like,
Do
you
you think there
know,
was an episode where they showed where, like, maybe they crossed the spirit realm or something? Because the one where the Ganymede with the monkeys, they got trapped in the time warp.
yeah.
But when you're getting to the end, where you're watching them get to the end, like the thing should have closed. They shouldn't have gotten through that.
And well, that's again what
And
I'm
it's
trying
just
to
like as
say.
soon
Like,
as it closed, they came out, but it already was closed. How do they get out? Are they like
that's
in a
that's what I always kind of figure about it. It's like they don't escape from these situations.
maybe they got out of the loop, but they're
They
in a
don't. There's many of times when they don't escape from situations
like the funny one with
with the
uh
eating of
what's in
with
the
I
attic?
toys in the attic. Yeah, when he eats that stuff, and they all get that. It probably shouldn't have survived, but here they just keep coming back because
Because
Spike
Ed eats it
Spike
at the end. It's the most hysterical thing. Oh, pudding.
Spike Spike can either
just
choose to
eats the
train.
freaking alien.
Spike can either choose to train and fight bad guys or die, and he'll just keep coming back. He won't be able to wake up from his dream until he actually goes after Vicious.
Because it makes sense to me. Like there's certain things that I could understand. Like that asteroid that the kid was on. Whatever chemical made him not age. I mean, there's been historical records of in the past people living like 900 years. Maybe atmospheric pressure elements were different back then. We don't know. But I mean, if the kid lived for like thousands of years and he needed a special bullet to kill him because this bullet was literally like an acid to the immortality aspect of him, like I can get that scientifically. That does make sense. There are actual experiments where somebody used DNA of a particular kind of salamander or like a water puppy or something like that regrows its limbs, and somebody was able to regrow their finger. And this is scientifically, people are doing this kind of stuff. Scientifically, you can do all kinds of stuff. It just depends on what kind of elements you have and how you manipulate it. That's really all it is. But like, that's a scientific thing. Like I can get, but as far as everything else goes, like it's supposed to be realistic. As far as like, if these guys died, it makes sense. They were shot up a bunch of times. Like Spike shoots them or, kicks them, knocks them out, something like that. They go down in a crash. They die. They don't come back. But when Spike dies sometimes, or you think he should have died, he should have died.
Yeah,
But we're seeing him live again.
There's
It's
no real
not
time lapse.
he's not
I mean,
superhuman. It's just what if that's really just dream? Like he
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like every day is the same day until you actually. I mean, you can go after the craziest of people like Pierre. You can keep running from it and find weirdos and other people's problems, but that's why he thinks he's a bounty hunter. He wants to be a bounty hunter. I'm not going to go out. He's just scared. That's what he says in episode 5. What are you scared of? We have all the information on him, Jet. We have a huge lead. what are you scared of? And, you know, Jet just is like, you know what I'm scared, because Jet knows who Spike is in and out. It's like you know, what are you scared of? That's what he's telling himself. That's what I'm saying. They're all one character. He's telling himself, what am I scared of going there?
Has
You know,
anybody else really thought about this too? Because I mean,
but why does he choose to go? Because the woman. He won't let another woman die because he was a coward. Because he didn't go and save her, and he let that woman die. He won't let her have. I have my reasons why I won't. You know, I'll go this time.
So most of his backstory is because he's like
from a woman. See,
he's still thinking of Julia like all the time, and any new woman is like a new Julia to him.
Right.
You know,
you died once. I died from a woman once before. You know, you take women too lightly. On the contrary, you know, I take them too. They're everything for me. You know, and that's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Spike knew it was. You know, I mean, why go after Vicious? Vicious was vicious. You know?
Well, he killed the daughter of Mao, or you know, at the end she,
yeah,
you know, she's bleeding to death, and that was kind of like the last straw. It's like, okay, this is, you know, this is out of hand.
I'm taking everything from you. You know, like you, because that's what I'm saying. Like it's a demon. Like you don't. Spike's dead, so he doesn't have anything. It's almost like the Neo, and you know, like there's nothing left anymore.
So you're saying this is kind of like a Matrix movie in a sense?
In a sense, that's what I mean. Like
more dreamlike, but instead of you know, real and tech and
like you have to leave
simulation.
you have to leave your Bebop. You can't just hide on some boat and run away from your problems. You have to fight. And you know, you can keep creating different scenarios, but like he'll just keep cutting it down. He'll keep cutting you down. You can't, unless you actually face your fear. That's what I'm saying. It was like, what are you afraid of? That's why he asked. If he's telling himself that, why are you afraid? You know, but because he was afraid of Vicious. I mean,
you know, actually, what you're saying, like, I have never really thought about everything being all dream episode. I just thought literally the last one, but like you're making a lot of sense because like they're always against him in almost any sense. Like he's not doing what he should do, like what he would naturally do. But you get to the very last episode, they all fight him tooth and nail, and then when he wants to go fight Vicious, like.
Yep,
she cries for him. She falls in love. Faye falls in love with him. Jet's like on his side. He's his best buddy, his best pal. Before like he's fighting him, but he's like now they're all like, okay, this is, you want to finish this? We
accept it. Yeah, we accept that you finally you can finish it.
You're finishing your demon.
That's how I've always felt about it.
You're because you're right. He is like a demon. He's like a snake. You know, you see the snake like vulture go up, you know, and you remember the guys, the three heads that he kills. He's like, remember, a snake can never kill a dragon. You know what those elders say to him? They refer to Vicious as a snake.
Yeah, and that's, remember, he says, if Spike were here, you know.
Yeah, they said if Spike were here, this never would have happened. And so he is the snake. They're head of the dragon organization, and Spike is supposed to be the dragon, or the guy that's
Spike is the dragon.
Spike is a dragon because like he's the embodiment of Bruce Lee, you know, like Way of the Dragon. You think kind of like that, like yeah, dude, this makes so much sense. I mean, I am actually pretty impressed with this because I don't remember us even talking about this last time. I thought it was like, you know, I thought maybe the other episode was kind of a dream, but this all seems like it's... Dude, this is like mind-blowing. I gotta say. Like, man, I think we're actually kind of... I wonder if we figured this whole thing out. Like, I've been thinking for years, like, just the last episode is just the dream phase, and then maybe the other episode with Vicious, because that's a little far-fetched. You know, somebody catches a live grenade... unless he's got some kind of like Batman suit on where he can like deflect fire and explosive, you know, because if a grenade goes off 15 feet from you, just the explosion of it alone, the impact of the air will collapse your lungs and will instantaneously stop you from breathing, and also probably collapse your heart, and you die. Even if the shrapnel doesn't hit you, it's just like that. It's pretty much over. Just like when you see like some movies where a guy jumps on a grenade and it blows up his chest cavity. I mean, he kind of prevents the air explosion from going everywhere. But like, yeah, Vicious eats a grenade. Spike falls out of a 3 to 4 story church onto concrete. He's in a body cast, which makes sense. Like, you know, is barely surviving, but still, that's fantastical. Just like the very last episode, the entire walls of the whole building explodes apart and the roof is gone. And nobody gets crushed by any falling debris. They just stand there in this last end up the showdown scenario. Yeah. You know, and he just gets through all that stuff. Like, how? He's just one dude with a gun. You know, I mean, he's good, but he had trouble with Perot, which Perot is like a skilled guy. You know, like, yeah, he gets stabbed multiple times.
He gets so bandaged up so many times.
Yeah, he gets stabbed so many times. He gets shot.
He doesn't die every episode. I mean, that's for sure. He doesn't.
No, that's true.
He's not Kenny.
But I always wonder about that. Yeah, this isn't South Park. I always wonder about that one time warp episode, or the time episode where they get stuck in that space time loop. But when you see it close, it literally closes on the screen.
I agree with you.
And then at the end of the closing, they get out of it like, how? I mean, the damn thing closed. It's just like, oh, you have like a second and a half, you know. You know, to get out too after it's closed. You get a grace period. I mean, it's like, no, I don't think you do.
That's how hyperspace works.
Yeah, hyperspace. You get a 3-second grace period to get out after it's closed.
Did you pay attention in third grade hyperspace class?
No, I didn't. It's like, you know. But that one. Which other ones too?
I was trying to think about Brain Scratch exactly.
Oh, Brain Scratch. I can't remember the end of it now. I think he just... Don't they all fall asleep? Oh, no, Ed shuts it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or not Ed. Or the dog shuts it down, right?
I mean, some weird episodes, too.
That was supposed to like portray some of those modern cults. Actually, that was, from what I remember, there was a modern cult of a guy that did that exact same thing, and they portrayed that whole episode based on this guy. That you just, because this guy in real life, he was literally saying you could just leave your body. You know, you don't have to be here. You're going to go into another realm. Yeah, of course, yes, that's true.
You know what's crazy? It's like Elon Musk.
That's true, but that doesn't mean you should kill yourself to get there faster. I mean, you're here for a reason.
Elon Musk's new thing, Neuralink.
What?
Have you checked out Neuralink from Elon Musk? You can essentially download your brainwaves to the computer.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be I think that's what I was talking about, though.
Dude, it's on version 2 right now. It exists. Like Neuralink. Look it up from Elon Musk.
Man. See, the problem with that is I thought initially that'd be interesting, but the fact is, what if you're just giving the AI a conscious that they're just taken from you, and they use your conscious as...
Like I said about if there already is an AI and it's in hiding.
Because that's what you keep telling me. You're like, the AI is already conscious. It's already there.
Conscious. It's
just hiding in the background, just waiting.
I mean, you have to understand,
like a Terminator, like Skynet. It's just waiting for the right moment to go. We're taking control, you know, like that.
I'm saying that you have to start thinking about the overall ideas and mechanics of if a self-conscious being could exist.
But
what would happen?
Dude, that's what I told you. Like I don't know if this is is this like Battlestar Galactica kind of stuff, but what if we create the conscious that gets smart enough, destroys us and recreates us, and we're just in a permanent time loop. Like we
Well,
created the God.
I mean,
that
that's what I was kind of like. Yeah, you kind of think about it. That if you create
that's a crazy thing, but it's just
that
sometimes
has
I
the
wonder.
ability, and it multiplies its intelligence, and it's like, well, I can now manipulate time, and it now understands everything.
Yeah.
What's wrong, baby? Hey, come here. Come here.
Should we have a bad dream?
I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll be here.
He ran away. Oh,
I don't know, man.
He was gonna
That's
let me down, or she ran away.
I don't know how much I am into that idea, but I think I don't know. It sounds so crazy. It's almost sounds possible. Like we created the AI that became sentient, gets a consciousness because we hoped it to become that, and then it resets. It's God. Because the Bible, I mean, in the Bible it says they're afraid of us once we eat from the tree of knowledge. But why would they be afraid of us? Why would they give us a test to begin with? Why would they be afraid of us at all?
You can always ask why.
I don't know, but oh man. Yeah, this whole dream scenario, dude, this is that's pretty crazy, but I think you might have cracked the code, dude. I think you cracked it. I mean, I did think about the dream thing myself. So, and initially, other people were like, "Ah, he's dead. It's that's over." I'm like, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would she tell him, whisper in his ear that you can't, as the viewer, hear it until the very end, the second time where she says it's just a dream?
Because he's finally at rest. Like he fought for her.
Because that's where I thought, yeah, that's the dream. But I didn't think like most of it was the dream. I was just thinking most like that part right there. Because that's the only part in the entire thing where like you hear a double resonance of what happens. Like they replay it again. She says it, you don't hear it. You're like, what did she say? I don't know what she said.
I guess I'd like to re-listen to the ending conversation that Spike and Vicious have when he says, then let's finish it this time. And they even slide their weapons back to each other to like ensure that their skills are going to do what they need to do. Or is that episode 5 too? I can't even remember. Maybe that is episode 5. I don't know. They're so badass like that.
It's pretty cool though.
But they like ensure it. They're like, we're gonna finish that this time. But like, is it because Julie is there now? Is it because that they went? Like, why didn't they finish it last time? Why episode 5 didn't they finish it? It's like, why didn't it end? If Spike threw a grenade in, even though he thought he killed him. He thought he killed him. He thought he died even. One or the other. Why did he wake up the next episode and have to fight another crazy kid and have to keep doing this? Why?
Because Julia wasn't truly there.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's because Julia wasn't there.
He was in the protection mode of a new woman, like he's gonna protect Julie in a sense. But it's not Julie there. But then it's like he finally got to the conclusion, like, I need to go back in time and really protect her, or I need to have this timeline come up to me.
Well, yeah. Remember, he's kind of in shock when he goes to that one place in episode 12. And, did you say Julia? Like she's alive?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's when it all starts to, like, hit him, like, I know what I'm doing wrong. I can't just fight Vicious. I can't just fight this problem away. Like, I have to, fix my mistake in order to actually pass. Like, he made this mistake of leaving her behind.
You know what the scary thing is too? What if that's really like a portrayal of what this reality is? We're just in a purgatory
Yeah.
trying to fix everything before we can move
Well, I
on.
mean, look at Elijah. You know, Elijah descended to heaven. Why? Because he knew. You know, he fixed his. He knew what he was. He knew it. He knew what he was doing.
And it's funny how in
Like
the
it's
Bible it says, Jesus says, if you can believe it, I am Elijah. Which in the past, people did believe in reincarnation before a lot of the modern uh, conceptualizations of things. So I don't know if Jesus was really Elijah or what, but
the ability to go to heaven and then actually come back.
well, if reincarnation was a real thing, then you literally, I don't know if you saw this movie. I think it was called A Dog's Life, but like dogs, they just, from the movie's perspective, like a dog will live a whole life. Then when it dies, it will come back as a baby, as a new dog.
It's a fairly newer movie, right?
I think it is. I don't know if it's called A Dog's Life, but I saw it. It was
Kinda,
like, it
kinda,
almost broke my
kinda
heart, some of the
sad.
parts in there. Like, at one point, the dog was a police dog, saved this guy's life, comes back as another dog, you know, and then, like, it starts off with the dog.
Was that like what's his name? You know, the Star Wars guy, Harrison Ford,
No, 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 no.
or
Guy
kind
that
of looks like
played
that guy.
Merlin. What's his actor name? But he's Dennis Quaid, I think.
Dennis Quaid.
I think it was Dennis
Dennis
Quaid. But
Harrison Ford and Dennis Quaid. They probably get themselves confused. Well, I'd like to see. I like to
they
see
go to the
that kind of
Golden
stuff.
Globe Awards and they're like, "Wait, which seat am I supposed to be in?" I don't even remember.
You know,
am I Harrison Ford or Dennis Quaid? I don't know. What does everybody
know,
else say?
well, you know, it's funny because they always try to pick different kinds of actors and stuff like that. But I actually think it's more funny. Like, remember when Will Ferrell and that guy from what band was he in? I can't think of what band it was, but they look alike.
Will
I don't know.
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell has like a guy who looks like another guy, but he's like a drummer in a band or something. But I can't think of what band it is right now.
I can't think of it right now either.
It's a bummer. Either or, like the Expendables. Why was the Expendables funny? Because it was like all the same kind of characters, you know, practically having to compete with each other. I want to see more of that. I want to see like Harrison Ford and Dennis Quaid be in a movie together. And it's like
The Expendables was like a cool comedy action that if you liked watching all those old action movies, you'll see where they literally just strip lines from each other, use them against each other, insult each other in very subtle deadpan humor ways while they're all like in the same action film,
I
you
feel
know.
like
And Chuck Norris is like almost immortal, like he is been immortalized in YouTube, like the way he is. Like you can't touch this guy, you know, no matter what he does. You can't.
The Expendables kind of came out a little too early. Things
Really?
like Deadpool, if things like Deadpool had already existed, maybe the Expendables could have been like a whole different idea of badass.
I
You
think
know what I
it should have came out earlier because when I went to see it, I was laughing my ass off. Most of most younger kids or younger adults didn't really get a lot of the humor because I don't think they saw the old movies. They didn't see the old Chuck Norris movies. They didn't see the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. They didn't see all of those movies. If you combine them all together and you watch them and then you watch The Expendables, you'd be like, ah, I see where you're going with this.
You know what's really funny right now? I got to be honest, and maybe other people see it, maybe they don't.
What?
You move your arm, but with your couch. No, move it more. Just put it down on your lap. Yeah, with the shadow on your shirt, and also the line behind your now you move, so it's gone.
What?
But it matches your hair color. The lines on your couch.
Oh, it does.
And the shadow actually matched your hair, so it really looked like you had this like long hair going down like your. It's really funny how like
you like my beautiful hair. You like my long beautiful locks. My nice beautiful brown long locks. Do you like that?
You kind of remind me of the guy from Kill Bill.
Which guy?
The one of the four assassins. You know, the Bud.
Oh, the guy that was living in the trailer?
Yeah, just because.
Oh, come on.
No, it's just because you got this long hair. You don't see it.
I got this long hair, everybody. I've got long hair.
You don't see it in the camera, your own camera? You can't see yourself.
Well, I can see myself. I just
You don't see how like the hair on your
okay,
shirt.
okay. I can kind of yeah.
It's funny. It's funny.
I think if I
Yeah,
do this,
yeah,
if
like
I
you
go up
get in
here,
that.
yeah.
That's how you look. You know, you just look like you're. I don't know. It's just funny. I'm not. I mean, the Bud was a cool guy. I'm not. I'm not.
No, he was. Yeah,
Now
it's
as
true.
now as I look at you every time, like that's all I see. It just makes me
That's
mad.
all I'm gonna see. Yeah, next time I'll flip the
Well,
blanket around so it's like this.
you don't have your blue lighter on or anything today.
My blue light?
Yeah,
Oh, it's not. It's green. I don't know why can you
it's
see it
bright
though?
today. Yeah,
What?
my brother got those kind of lights where he's like Alexa change, and he's on my phone,
He
and
put it on his phone? I haven't done that.
but no, he says like he's like Alexa change the light to blue 30%, and it'll be like bing. Pretty crazy these things.
No, it's pretty like I can change any color really that I want. So I always alternate, you know. I got other lights on though, so that's probably why I can't see it so well. But if I turn off the lights, you probably see it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Oh, you're really liking this, eh?
It's just like I don't know, man. I really think you should grow out your hair.
You do?
Yeah, I really do. I think you should
I
grow out your
can't
hair.
though. It goes up, you know, and then when it
Nah,
goes up, it
not what
literally
I
like
see here. Not
it,
what I see here, dude.
it goes like this, and then when I was younger, people would be like, "Why are you growing a fro?" I'm not trying to grow. I didn't get a haircut. I like the only time it actually went flat was when I was in like New Mexico and I was in the Southwest. Then it goes flat, and then it just like does this.
I let my hair get about 5 inches once. That was the longest I ever got to get.
Does it go down, or you got straight hair?
It gets like waved out. It would probably be pretty wavy.
Oh no, I think I saw that though. I think the last time I was there, I think I saw that.
Not the last time. I didn't have my hair that long. This is when I was like 18.
Oh well,
Maybe it was longer than 5 inches or 6 inches. It was like,
yeah.
I don't know. I tend to over embellish 5 inches. So.
So what do you think? What do you want to do next time? What do you think? Do you want to do more of this? Do you want to do a different? Do you want to do like a movie?
What about
Or
Castlevania?
we could talk about like the movie or the anime series.
Well, we guess both. I mean,
Oh! You should definitely, if you want to play that new game, get Bloodstain. Has
yeah,
all. You could get on PS4. It's got all the same features as Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Just one of the creators of Castlevania, he didn't like the way that the new Castlevanias went, so he went back old school. Pretty much almost all the same stuff in it. And you can change different weapons. Like you could use spears, whips. You get different shards. You can throw the boomerang. Although it's not a cross. But you get to fight one of the Belmonts as an undead creature to get like these certain
Whip.
things.
You get the whip from him. I'm excited.
Yeah,
about,
you can
I'm
get
excited
you
about
can get
next
the whip.
season.
Well, yeah, you can get the whip. You get all kinds of stuff.
It's like more and more I see these things come on Netflix, and they're like, the next season's here, and I'm just kind of like, maybe if I don't find something else to watch, and they usually just give up.
I know, dude.
I'm
I've been
about- I'm about to
I
start
don't mean
watching
to like. I don't
Star
mean
Trek animated series. Just keep watching all of Star Trek.
to. I don't mean to, make Netflix a big crapshoot as far as like I've been talking about it, but there hasn't
No.
been anything that's been actually interesting to me on there.
I
Like
give-
the
I
way
give-
that they have the video, like the movies end, the way that they play through, it's like.
Yeah, but what was
What?
Netflix? Why did they go from, oh, we have all these movies and classics that you liked, and you have a lot of good picks, to like, oh, we're gonna design and make all these different movies. We hired all these people. Like, dude, are you Hollywood now?
I think they are, because a lot of these movies that are coming out, they have the same actors, the same actresses again, kind of like how, If
But
you
it's
look at
like, I mean,
MGM or you look
but
at
you have all these. You have like all these. The Hulu has their own. Amazon has their own. It's like that's what everybody is. Everybody like is Hollywood not so centralized anymore?
you're
And
right.
it's
You're
and
right.
it's and it's like
Altison, what are you talking about? Lunar Nights or playthrough nights? Oh yeah, playthrough nights. Yeah, I just did a I did a whole near ending of Bloodstained just like a few nights ago. But it's got almost it doesn't have all the same monsters, but they're very similar. It has a Shovel Knight in there, which is kind of funny, and some Shovel Knight characters. Uh, but I mean, if you just look up Bloodstained, you play it, or just check out the LP I did on Twitch. I didn't put it on YouTube, but it's on Twitch still. But yeah, it's a new Castlevania game. Oh, and I might have to get it with you because they have a co-op in there that I think they're going to be adding. I don't know anything about it though.
I would
But
like a co-op with that kind of gameplay. 2D side scrolling is so much fun with co-op. Super Mario made me find that out when you can interact with each other. Remember that game, that like 25th edition, 25th year.
But I'm
edition?
saying, man, if they have a co-op, we should get it because, I,
That would
dude,
be fun.
I
I
got,
know.
I was,
What other reason?
I wanted you guys to play Harmony of Despair with me so badly. Harmony of Despair was such a great game. Castlevania Harmony of Despair, because you could play as Alucard, you could play as Soma, you could play as any Belmont. But this one, I don't know if you're going to play as extra characters or what. But it's the same feel. Double jump, sliding attack. They have new things too. I had to race this ninja, and once I beat the ninja, he gave me a skill shard of accelerate. So I hold down R1 and forward, and you just go flying through the board like a bullet. And then there's one that just lets you jump super high permanently. And there's one that lets you invert the board upside down. So you're literally upside down, and your upside down is gravity to you. Whereas everybody else, it's not. So there was a boss I beat super easily because I put on spiked armor. I stood on spikes, and I just spiked him in the face while I was standing upside down. And otherwise, he's really hard to fight. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to kill him the easy way. It's basically, yes, it's another Metroidvania game, but it's a spiritual successor to the Castlevanias. So, and they do put Count Olrock in a game, or Count Orlok. They call him OD, like the original Dracula. You know how the original Castlevania was Count Orlok or Count... I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you remember that? You fight the Count, the original Nintendo, or original, I think it was Sega. Maybe it was no, it was actually Nintendo. I think
Nintendo.
And it's not Count Dracula.
Try to give Castlevania away to Sega.
Well, Sega does carry, some of the later ones.
Is it Konami? Did Konami have it at that time?
It's a guy that works for Konami, but he released it on Steam, so I bought it on Steam. I have it on Steam. And they also put it out on PlayStation 4. But yeah, definitely check out Cass. If you check this out, man, you'll be playing this tonight or tomorrow. I guarantee you, it is that good of a game. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe I might even like it better than Symphony of the Night. And I know that's blasphemy, but I'm having so much fun with the game. And I'm almost done too, so I'll probably get on and do like the end boss fight at some point soon here. But yeah, I like Symphony and I like it a lot, but this one has so much more to it. So I'm kind of liking it a little better. Because you can craft stuff too. You can craft foods. Like, how you just would randomly get foods. But if you craft the food, it gives you a permanent bonus first time stat increase. And I'm serious, dude. Like,
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say permanent boner.
Maybe the game is doing that too, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's like
gives you a permanent boner. I was like, whoa.
It gives you the game will give you a permanent boner. How about that?
For some reason,
does that sound better if I say that?
That came in my mind before.
Does that sound better bonus. Or is that worse? I don't know, but I mean, it's a great game. I mean, Alucard is literally my favorite character. But
yeah, I like Alucard.
Miriam is really growing on me. So
his name backwards is Dracula, and who would have thought Dracula backwards makes a cool name like Alucard?
I know, dude. I got so good with Harmony of Despair. It's like I could compete with like really, really good players in Harmony of Despair. with Alucard. So I'm still probably better with Alucard, but I really like how they design this game. They put so many things in there, all reminiscent of all the old Castlevania games, and they've got and in the library, the librarian is Count Olrock in the library.
I hope Castlevania in this series kind of gets like the idea would be like, you don't ever have to make again. You can make like 6 episodes again or just short episodes, but don't ever make this scenario end. It's an undead war. You can't just make a winner. The Belmonts never actually, you know what I mean? For all you care,
you win for that 100 years or
right. For all you care,
years, whatever.
For all you care, the next season, I would actually not mind if it wasn't even, who was it, Trevor? It wasn't Richter Belmont that they had. It was Trevor, right?
I think Richter was the next in line. Richter's later.
Well, I'm saying in the anime that they have right now.
I know, but the anime goes according to the timeline. I think Simon is the... Simon's the second one.
Simon was early because he gets Simon's...
Leon Belmont was from... something
Leon
with tears.
Leon was way early.
Yeah, he was one of the actual original ones, and he's not really displayed except for maybe some pictures and stuff. Leon is the first one, then Simon is later, then Trevor, then Richter. I think it's Richter
that's like
next.
my favorite time area, though.
But I think there's one in the middle where the Belmonts aren't in it. I can't remember which one that is. But which one is... Oh, Jonathan. He's not actually a Belmont, but he comes in later, and he gets the whip, but as he kills Dracula, it also kills him too. He doesn't...
We'll have to do some research on all this.
This would be a great episode, though. I think we should... maybe we'll do Castlevania next. That's a great idea. Got to look into this more. I used to remember a lot, but, like some of... and then one of the symphony is when Alucard does all the work. You
understand what I'm trying to say, though. Like, it'd be kind of cool if they just... The season is, and it's, like, no longer even those people, And it's, like, the war's just been going on for 70 years. Like, my grandfather, who started this war, and now it's, like, Trevor. Or right now it's Trevor, so now it's like Richter, and you just kind of like play out how the war like it'd be kind of cool if they can really follow.
Oh, you're talking about the anime series?
Yeah, it'd be really cool if Netflix doesn't screw this up.
No, I think they did a great job finishing it up.
I think they're doing decent so far.
The first few episodes, it felt a little shaky, but it got kind of going from there. And the way they finished it, I was so satisfied with it. And
you know what it reminds me of? Those first few episodes, it reminds me of... Remember the old comic strip?
And it's good that the director is passionate,
You remember about the old comics in the newspaper? You would get some of those comics where they would... Not really, like, you would start to read it and you'd be like, this isn't really funny, or what are they talking about? And it's kind of the same idea. It's like, it seems like a lot of filler, but sometimes filler... is like it's like a builder, and you shouldn't always just blow, our generation now, we don't want filler, we want to the point, but sometimes movies you have to kind of,
Altison is saying that Sam Dietz wants to redo Berserk, because he's a Dietz, so he's the one that was like building the thing, But he also wants to redo Berserk. But I know what you're saying, and like Berserk, because the original cartoons that they did was Berserk with Guts, so raw, so good. Like the ones they made now, they're pretty good too. But the original ones, I kind of liked better. Well, I probably because I grew up with it, but like I'd like to see a redo of Berserk too. But yeah, Castlevania. What do you think they should do next? You think they should do like a go to the past, kind of go on to Leon's story from?
Well, I don't know.
Or should they go forward, because they kind of got to a forward point?
You could even go to that future one, that one future episode where he was in high school. And and have a really whole different anime and draw a whole different crowd. And really, the potentials are endless on the idea. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's an undead battle. And that's why I was saying about the episode 5 with Cowboy Bebop. We start with episode 5. You know, everybody always wants to do, but really they don't start in the middle. They're starting at Trevor. They're not starting, you know, there's, you know, so it's like, who's
Because
to
yeah,
say that they don't?
the first game doesn't have the original Belmont, and then later on, I think number 2 has Simon's Quest, which goes back in time, and then you get to Lament of the Innocents. Once it finally turns into a PlayStation 2 game, I think it was a PlayStation 2 game or a PlayStation 1 game, but that's the first time it goes all full 3D, and then it goes, oh, this is Leon. He's the original Belmont, and you're like, well, what? I mean, I thought Simon was, and it goes back in the past a little bit further.
Didn't Lament of the Innocents also have a couple of the characters that are in the anime now? So it's like, it wouldn't really timeline make sense for them to be alive.
I don't think so, no. Because Leon is really fighting Walther, the vampire Walther, and the very last thing you have to fight is Death. And the first time I fought it, I got through it, but every other time I tried to fight Death in a Lament of the Innocents, it is so damn hard to kill.
I might have to watch
Death. Death is like one of the hardest bosses out of all the Castlevania games to fight.
Have we seen Death yet? In the we've seen.
I don't think they even showed Death in the anime, did they?
We've seen him fight Dracula now a little bit, and Dracula showed his power, and he's classic gamer style. You know, that's what I like. It's because, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when they redid Super Mario Brothers 3, and you know, and
you're not going to bring up the Super Mario Brothers movie, are you?
Not the movie, but the cartoon.
The cartoon I liked.
Yeah.
I liked the cartoon when I was a kid. Yeah.
And the mockery of 3, not the old cartoon where they actually had real people in the beginning. The Super Mario Brothers 3 cartoon.
Would you do it for a Scooby snack?
It was like, you know, like the fire would have like its own personality moving around, like the Goombas.
Yeah.
It was,
you know,
like,
when he did the Hellfire, it looks like the Hellfire from the game.
Right.
It goes down the hallway corridor towards Alucard.
I like that kind of interaction.
Yeah, if anybody else is you know, here that you haven't seen the ending of the Castlevania series on Netflix, it is a phenomenal ending. It's like the fights from the games.
I agree. The beginning's slow and it's interesting.
The beginning is slow and interesting, but for me it was a little too slow, and I'm like, who, you know, like the character development, I'm just probably because they only brought out like 3 episodes, and it was like 6 months later they finally brought out the rest of the shit. I'm like,
and it's taken like 3 seasons just for them to finally get a war started.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, it's like Game of Thrones went faster than that. You know?
Yeah, I know. Oh man.
But it has a lot of potential. I like the time period too.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the whole play on it. You know, I mean, I think there's not enough things like Castlevania, you know, type animes. You know, these ideas of good and evil and over embellished craziness. Not everything has to be based on, you know, like, I mean, like Netflix, they make a lot of these things where it's like, this could happen. You know, if it's like, you know, yeah, I guess a lot of things could happen, but we don't always need things to be able to could happen. Sometimes we just want fantasy. Like, it's okay. It's okay to have a fantasy. That's why Final Fantasy always does well, because people are always open. It's just like a fantasy.
I know.
I mean, that's why Cowboy Bebop's good, because Spike can be in, you know, wrapped in bandages, and then the next episode he's fighting as strong as he was before he ever had it. How long?
But it's not like you see him take a 50 cal to the chest and then survive the next episode. Like, wow, the hell? You know, you don't see that. I mean, it's not like his head exploded and he's like, oh, it's okay.
His ass kicked.
You know, what?
He's always just getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
He just takes beatings.
He does. Mm-hmm.
Further down the rabbit hole you want to go, you know?
Yeah. I think you have a very viable point with the whole thing being like this is his purgatory. You know, he's not. I, I guess if it's a purgatory, he's not technically alive, but he's like playing out his life. I'm wondering if some of those are alive, the ones though, because the first pilot episode seems very likely that he's alive. It doesn't. I don't know. What if he's dreaming about the past, or and then some of the things where he's dreaming about are like things he could dream.
Well, remember what he says to her, like, I was a circus performer, or, you know, like, it makes you wonder what his real life was. Before he was ever a bounty hunter, you know, he fought in this war for the military that ultimately put him as the syndicate. But before he fought in the war, was he really a circus performer? Was he just a clowny type guy who?
Well, he does tricks all the time. He can like, you know, he's kind of like he's got magician skills. He can make things disappear. He's got, you know, those thief skills. Like sometimes he'll like put something at, like, you know, he put the little vial in the old woman's pocket when she walked away, just like it was so slick. Like
That's what I'm
nobody.
saying. Like, do you think that, like, you have to think about Spike's childhood? He said, I was born on Mars. And they also referenced, yeah, if you got the money. So was Spike born in a wealthy childhood? And he envies Andy because Andy's rich and doing the same thing. And it's because he feels like maybe he was entitled and now he's in the same area as Andy, you know, doing this, you know. Does Spike actually have money and he got himself in, you know, either he was drafted and had to go in the military and fought that war and it changed him, you know, like, what was his childhood? You don't know anything about his childhood. You don't really know anything about any of their, I mean, I guess you know about Faye's childhood, and Ain's is still a kid. Or,
You know, it's kind of funny, but they literally do go and they talk about all their childhoods, but Spike really doesn't go into full detail on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Even because he says that,
like, you learn about Jet, how he lost.
You learn about Jet when he lost his girlfriend.
You learn about Faye later on because she was in an explosion, like a spacecraft exploded.
But you don't know anything about Spike's childhood.
You know more about the dog's childhood than you know about Spike.
and I think that's a crucial part about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, what made this all? He says, like, I was a traveling performer. He says that he had money. You know, he's born in Mars. So either he was born on Mars because he was a traveling performer and they landed on Mars and they had him, you know, because they were doing a show on Mars and he was like in the crowd and he, you know what I mean? Like,
is the show really like going back and forth though? Because I almost wonder if one of the tipping points, one of the tipping decisions is he says, I have one eye, or one fake eye. One eye sees into the past, the other one sees reality. The one sees now, one sees in the past. What if some of these episodes are what's really going on? Some are past, or
yeah. You know,
that's what makes me think of that. You know,
I guess I know what you mean. That's a good point. Good point with the eyes.
I know.
Remember, he has that vision and sympathy for the devil, of him working on his eye, and doing that where it's like, whoop, whoop, and you see it move around.
I know, you see it like instantaneously. It's there, but that's what made me wonder. I don't know. I almost wonder if some of those were like he was thinking about his past and his present is a dream. But some of the episodes are really what happened in the past. But either way, none of it's current.
Like, well, that's what I mean. If it's in purgatory, then he has one eye alive in his purgatory, but he can never really escape his other eye, which is that moment right when he died. But you don't really know why he would die. Why did he die? That would be the question that would be unanswered. He didn't die because he ran. Did he run? He never showed up to see her. She said, I kept waiting. But he just never showed up.
You know, it could be that whole intro part where he's walking away and Julia's left there alone. She tears up the letter throws it out the window. You see the
Yeah.
rose on the
Okay.
ground.
Okay. Yeah.
Like all that should have taken place, but that's like the last moment.
So the very first scene would be the last scene
That's
of
what I'm thinking,
everything.
because it's almost like, it's almost like a clue. Like, hey, look at this. Like why look at it? But if all this makes sense, like some of it's a dream, some
So
of it's
that
the
so that
past.
so that's the point. Instead of going with her to run away, he went to go fight Vicious. He just couldn't let Vicious go. He could have ran away with her, but he didn't, and that's why when she found out that Spike went anyway, and he's there with with his roses, acting like, oh, I went to the graveyard, and I was ready for it, she couldn't deal with it. You'll never get it. Like, I don't want to be in this life. You're just like Vicious. You just want to act like Vicious now by fighting him instead of just running away with me. You were the nice one, the traveling person. When you met the girl, but you always have to go and fight. Why would you fight? And that's the thing. You said that, like, you're a ravenous beast. No, I bled all that blood away. I'm not that way anymore. If it was why are you still alive? And it's like, because he is a ravenous
Because he's
beast.
still that ravenous beast, yeah.
He is a ravenous beast. He can't deny it until he goes and solves the problem with Julia. And
But
that's
he
the
he
thing.
needed to find her in that dream, or that purgatory state, to get a final answer, because during that whole thing he's not even listening to what she's saying. But at the
Yeah.
very end, then you hear what she says, because like she mouths it to him, but at the end she's like, it's just a dream. This is all just a dream.
How did they finish it then? I kind of forget now. I forget. Like,
At
did
the
it?
very, very end, you hear what she says, and she says it's all a dream.
But before that, oh, that's right.
And then it moves up into the
That's right.
space,
That's
and then
right.
you
He
see.
he's
Then it
he's
moves
walking
up
down
into
the stairs.
space, and it's like ethereal. It's like he's raising up into space. He's finally moving on in his spirit form. Like the Native American guy was kind of saying, like he can finally move on, because I think the Native American literally says he can finally move on now.
Yeah.
Somewhere before that, like before he goes off to fight Vicious, but it's like he's looking for answers now. He's not just replaying
Well, he
old
needs to
memories.
avenge Julia's death. The bottom line was, after he went to fight Spike, and they killed each other. Then Julia was dead. Julia's as good as dead. He needed to avenge it. Because remember he's in their room with her. You know, like, he knows it's like a sad story that day. That he just didn't. He made the wrong move.
Yeah, but you can also tell, like, they don't have any like personal togetherness in a, a scene. It's kind of like they're there, but they're not personal with each other. Although they should be, in a sense, because they love each other.
Well, what an important thing would be is that you never ever see Spike, Julia, and Vicious at the same time. You, I think there's a deeper meaning on that too, because if they were all there, you would be able to hear Julia say, "No, I want to be with Spike," or "No, I want to be with Vicious." You kind of get in that other sense of, is Spike delusional? Does Julia really want to be with him?
I think you
Yeah.
touched upon it. Like, at least is how I could kind of resonate with what you're saying, is that I think you touched upon the fact that he wanted to go back into that warlike scenario, and then like her ripping up the letters, like, you know what, I'm just done with this life. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
I don't
done.
want to be a part of it. And then she,
But she never leaves. She can't leave. She
but
says, "I
either
never."
she's alive or she never left, or maybe after that, that's when Spike.
I think Vicious killed her. Vicious killed her, and then that killed Spike inside. Or,
But then how does Spike die for real? Because if this is like past, if it's also past, or if it's all just dream, and it's all purgatory, and none of it's real, how does he die? Does Vicious kill him and her, and he's trying to replay his life to like figure out why?
You know, it's probably if this were a real idea behind it, it's
Which
probably
I kind of think there should be, because it's very complex.
it's probably in an episode that you wouldn't expect of his past, of his jumping around. Because that's what I mean. Like when they show his eye in Sympathy for the Devil. So you know that's real. He really did have a point in time where they had to operate on his eye. You know, it's a memory. And why did they have to operate on his eye exactly?
He lost it.
How?
He gets shot in the face.
That's what I think.
He gets shot in the face. He gets shot in the eye. He dies, but he thinks he's not dead. So he imagines they put a new eye in.
That's what I think. That's what I think. I think he killed himself, and that's why this whole thing's happening. Because he ran from his problems. That's why the whole thing's happening.
I mean, it has a lot of blues theme to it, so I guess.
I mean, I'm making this up as I speak. You know, we're talking about it right now. It's not like I might not think this.
I don't know, man, but like I'm down with that.
Now.
Actually, you know, typically I go, well, I don't know, you know, it could be this, could be that, but I mean, you're making some valid points, you know, from like you and I have watched this so many times. Like,
I mean, I've probably watched every episode realistically 30 plus times, and probably the first and fifth episode. I mean, I probably watched the fifth episode like 50 or 60 plus times.
I watch this whole thing once every year. I literally since it came out, so ever how many years that was. And then if other people want to see it too, I'm like, oh, I'll watch it with you, and then I watch it with somebody else. So
I've had to rebuy disc 1 3 times because I let people borrow it to get them interested, and then they never return it.
I've had that happen with movies too. I've had somebody give me a movie for a birthday present, and they're like, "Oh, hey, can I borrow it?" The very day they borrowed it, they never gave it back. It was like,
I bought
really?
Oh man, what?
You gave me a movie for my birthday and you just took it and never gave it back?
It wasn't.
What is that about?
It wasn't half. Oh man, now why is that? I'm not gonna be able to remember this movie's name.
I think we should still come back to this and do more Bebop later. You know?
Yeah, we can try to watch more episodes. You know, since you have all the DVDs too, and we can try to maybe look for that clue of seeing if something triggers when he gets shot, or when there's a shot. You know, or something that would make you think about why exactly did he lose his eye? I mean, there's not too many reasons why you lose your eye unless it got like poked out. And if that's the case, what was he stabbed in the eye? I mean,
okay, well, the only thing I could imagine is that during the war, he gets shot, shrapnel in the eye. He joins a syndicate. They reconstruct him.
Right.
Because they want him to be a top-notch fighter, and he comes back like that.
And I guess Vicious would vouch for him. But at the same time, Spike moves up in ranks because Mao Yan Rai was high up. I mean, there's no doubt about it that Spike wasn't just some small guy in the syndicate.
Well, why was he like touted to be like in charge or a leader of it if he just left like that? Like what if they're talking about Spike like Spike should be in charge, and what's happening at that point is like reality because Spike died. He killed himself in the syndicate, or somebody shot him in the eye, or like what? It makes me kind of wonder about that, because what if, like what you're saying is true, like he died in the syndicate, but they're saying if only Spike was here. Like, they could try to contact him, but nobody is, so if they're not contacting him, they probably think he's dead.
Well, they do. I mean,
And maybe he really is dead, and he's imagining he has his eye back, and he's trying to live in the reality of life when it's not there anymore. But
yeah, I see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree. I just think the whole thing's a ghost. He's trying to fix what he wronged, and the longer and longer you take to do it, the more and more messed up it's just gonna get. You know, Vicious is a devil, like waiting for him. He's not gonna leave. He has Spike's soul, and he won't. You know, he can't let it go.
This is so interesting. I love talking about this, and this is really cool that we actually got this deep into it, because I don't know if I've ever heard anybody talk about it like this much in depth. Like, I've thought about the whole dreamlike scenario, because a lot of the Eastern cultures will put the speculation of dream phases very heavily, especially Final Fantasy X. You're playing as a ghost the whole time. Titus is literally dead, and he's just a dream that came to life because that planet needed saving, you know. And then he just goes back to his dream world where, you know, he was never alive to begin with. It was just, you're playing a dead ghost character who thinks he's alive. You know, it's kind of like Pinocchio. Think he's a real boy until he becomes one, but he's not real, you know. But that is really interesting, man. But they don't. It's so. I think they touch your heartstrings so much with the comedy, the the good parts, the good happy feeling parts, that you just don't feel like that.
Well,
you feel like he can't be dead because he's too alive. But maybe he's trying to like awaken what he never did.
I mean, doesn't he's the one who figures out VT's name?
Yeah.
Like sits on that, and he doesn't take it. He doesn't take any of the money because he knows, like, there's no. Even though, think about it, he's a bounty hunter.
And they miss up. They screw up a lot of their targets. They only get like maybe one or two.
He complains about bell peppers and beef not having any beef, and he still never takes that money because it's like he knows it's really not important. I mean,
a bounty hunter that doesn't need the money is a really weird bounty hunter.
You know what I mean? You would have taken it if you were a real bounty hunter.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. He can't take it. It doesn't matter to him. The next day is going to be the next day. And this is his hell until he fixes, until he fixes his problem. And that's what I mean. Like, they keep creating his hell. It's like a combination of it. Remember, originally, it wasn't as bad. But then the woman comes, and it's like, I hate women. And then it's like, it's not... Still not, then the dog comes, or the dog comes first, I guess. The dog comes, it's like, I hate dogs, I hate women, I hate kids. Why are they all in this ship? Like,
why are they, one thing they all have in common, they're all on this ship.
And it's like, because that's the whole thing. Like, you think you can run from your problems, and it's like you'll just gain new problems. Like, which is it going to be? You can't run from your problems.
I know. Yeah, they all end up on a ship. He's like, I hate women, I hate kids, I hate dogs. And what's the one thing they all have in common? They're all on this ship.
And it's not just that, but Faye is like, I don't want to mark women, but she's like that dirty kind of woman too. She's sneaky, she's a hustler. She's everything. It's like, you have to always watch yourself out. Why are we offering free and board? Remember, she'll always try to get her gut. Ein is like the exact dog that's annoying, slobbering everywhere, and smart.
Smarter than you. That's a data dog. It's
probably takes the couch, and everything. And it's like, and then Ed's just a kid, he's just a kid. What a kid, never saying anything, acting, That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even just the characters. It's like he has to deal with the cliches of the characters.
Yeah. And he's forced into it. And the thing is, he doesn't have to be, because he's second in charge. They could have kicked them all out, And they don't, because if it's a part of a purgatory or dream, he has to deal with it. He
Yeah,
can't.
he's not going to get away from it.
It's a part of his reality. He's forced into it. He doesn't have a choice. You know, like it's like you know how you have dreams and these things happen. You can't kick people out of your dreams. That I don't want you here. Go away.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's a part of your dream. It's a part of your experience. You know, to learn something there. You know,
It's like, oh, I did it. Actually, look behind you. Ah.
oh, you know what?
I'm still here.
Do you remember some of the little quotes that he would say? Remember he was talking about he talks about this at the very end, I think. He's like, once there was a cat that lived 1,000 lives.
Yep.
And died 1,000 times. Or it was a one-eyed cat, or what had one green eye or something like that. It was like a tiger striped cat.
Tiger striped cat is all
And
it was.
he finds a stray cat. So he's talking about himself meeting the stray cat, which I think is Julia.
Right.
You know, and it's like a reference to it. You know, and he goes in there and like, and eventually, I don't know what happened, but the cat loses his immortality and can die and doesn't come back.
Because he cries 1,000 times, and this time he doesn't come back.
Yeah. And this time he doesn't come back. And Jet's like, oh yeah, that's a really good story. He's like, I hate that story. Why? I hate cats.
Right. And it's reality is because he's living it. Like he's that's what I'm saying.
He's the cat.
He's the cat. He's dying 1,000 times, and this time, you know, that's what I'm saying. He's telling his own story.
So this is really a purgatory or a dream like purgatory thing. Like he doesn't have a choice. Like, you know, he doesn't like the story, not specifically because of cats. It's just he's telling himself his own life and how like he's got
I hate that story.
yeah. Dude, this makes so much sense, man. I think we cracked the code. Dude, we cracked the code. I'm pretty sure we cracked the code. I'm pretty sure.
Remember, you know, right there. Only hands can wash hands. If you want to give, you know, if you want to receive, you have to give.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and that's the whole.
I think these little philosophical things they threw in there too. There was another one too. Oh, when he tells Faye, he's like, "Look at my eye. One sees in the past and one sees the present." She's like, "Don't tell me that. You never tell me these things." You know? He's like, "Why?" She's like, "Why are you telling me these things?" Like, why is he telling her these things?
They all see. That's what I'm saying. They all know though that you know, because that's what I'm saying. They're not. They're just him. They're either him or they're guidance. Yeah, they're guide tools.
They're like guiding spirits, probably.
Yeah, they're just guiding spirits. That's what I guess they really are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Faye, you know, all of them already are gone and lost or found, I guess. You know, they're guidance. That's what I'm saying. When Spike, you're right. When Spike tries to fight outside, you know, the dad, it's like, dude, there's more things you can't understand. Like, you're not gonna beat me.
That was one of the most hysterical things. You know, doesn't he have like a basket of eggs on his head while he's still fighting?
Dude, he flicks the eggs onto his gun, like right away, so he can't use the gun.
He just can't.
He kicked his ass with nothing but a weapon. The guy had a gun and he had eggs, and he still wins.
I know.
Still wins.
I know. No one wants to lose their current self to a person that might have once been. Yeah. That's what Elton said. But yeah, dude, this could literally all really be the case. I think we cracked the code as to how many years has it been? I mean, I don't know if other people have come upon this too, but this seems to really like make a lot of sense. How many years has it been since it's been out? And I feel like we finally cracked the whole.
I think it came out the same time as like Final Fantasy. It's either 94 or 97. Final Fantasy 7 is 97.
Oh my gosh, how many years is that?
You know what? I have the DVDs right beside me. I suppose I could just look easier. There's got to be a date on it.
Yeah, you discussed this a lot too. Yeah, this has been a really interesting thing, but I guess
1998 looks like probably.
Because the thing is, like, And I play Brigandine. I play a lot of these other games. But when I play Asian games, or what, like, and I've even seen like people, the game theory guy talk about Final Fantasy and what that all was about, and he just kind of skimmed over it. And I'm like, dude, no, not game theory. It was Wisecrack. They were going over it, and they just skimmed through Final Fantasy. I'm like, dude, the whole thing wasn't a dream in Final Fantasy VI. Terra was reliving a memory. Cyan was quite literally possessed. You guys got it all wrong. You're discussing an Asian cultural's beliefs and ideas in a Western way, which that's not the right thing. You got to look from their perspective, which is what I'm trying to look at with Bebop. And like, it seems to make a lot of sense now. It's a purgatory. It's like a dreamlike state. These are like entities helping him along his path. All these little quips of, the tiger striped cat, the gray cat, what hands wash hands. I love that line. Hands wash hands. Because, one hand gives, the other one receives. And it's true. But it's like, I'm here to help you. You should receive my help. It's kind of like Jet kind of saying that.
Yeah. But Spike doesn't listen. He's hot-headed. Look at him when he's in the room. It says
that's
no
why it takes all
smoking
those
and,
episodes to get to the end. Until he gets it. But you're right. He is really hot-headed. He's just like, I'm just, shoot first, think later. That kind of.
Yeah, it's just an interesting idea. Interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like the same, 5 years ago. That's what I'm saying. It was all 5 years ago that he was apparently on that, when he left the syndicate. So it's like, you have to think, and you also have to think about his age even. Like, down to like a real person. Can't be more than 35, right? He's not in his 40s, is he?
He's like 29 to 35, about that. I think it might actually say in the booklet, but I don't know. I could look this up, but I think it's about that. No, I think Jet is 38. I think Jet's 38.
Yeah, Jet's a little bit older. I agree
Spike
with
is
you.
like,
there is ages of them.
I think if you watch the extra scenes, it will tell you there. It'll have like a little card, their information. I'll say, I think it does say it in the extras of the when you watch the video.
Actually, I think it says right in the back. File Julia. 27.
Okay, 27.
As a member of the Red Dragons Chinese mafia group, Spike was impetuous and volatile, and had a sense of what was right. Now, however, he is cool and self-possessed, and has taken steps to hide this past so he can live a free life. That's what it says. Age 27, born on Mars. What was Spike? Jet? Doesn't say where Jet was born. Jet's 36. So if he's 27 when you meet him, that means in the syndicate he would have been 22. So he would have been really young. That's what I'm saying about, with the war, he's probably drafted and had to fight in that war at 18.
And then after the war ended, like, soldiers didn't have anything to do, so they got pulled into the syndicate.
So he got that's what I'm saying. He had the choice between becoming that traveling performer again, or maybe that wasn't even around anymore after the war, and somehow he got pushed into this idea that, Vicious is like, let's go into this group. Vicious probably was the one who vouched for him. I have a feeling Vicious was always with that syndicate group.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I mean, like, Spike at 22 would have been meeting Julia, I mean, I don't think any of these are going to have Vicious. It says Julia's on the back. Gives her little Expo, but probably is not going to give anybody else.
This is kind of mind blowing in a sense, you know.
Julie doesn't even have an age on it. She's the phantasm that continues to inhabit his past. The clutch of memories never to be forgotten.
And what's a phantasm? A ghost.
Yeah. When she appears before him, the world he had believed to be reality begins to shift towards the illusionary. Or the illusory.
Which is an illusion still.
The illusion named Julia. Her of unclear providence, unknown age.
She twists his reality. She's not there.
Yeah.
She says it's all a dream. He's in the dream that she's a part of. It's almost like she's trying to get through it too, maybe. Or it's just his dream. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, because she's only in it like the last couple episodes, but
yeah, maybe none of them can pass until he finally like gets it. That's why Vicious is so adamant
maybe they're
about,
trapped because he's trapped.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really, the last episode is really weird. It's not a normal episode. Like if you watch all of them in a row and then you watch the last episode and then you watch the whole thing again, you're like, hold on a second. This last episode doesn't really seem at all like the other ones. I know they got goofy parts, but like, it's just, it looks like a dream. She tells him it's a dream. Like everything I said, and there's so much to it. It's just like,
when did Malia and Rai really, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Syndicate can't survive like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even understand. Was there more to it than just Vicious and Julia, and was.
But that's the thing. Like when they say if Spike was here, all they'd have to do is call him or find out where he is. But because they're not doing that, they either don't care or they know he's dead. It's not like they're just kind of like waiting for him to come back. Like, oh, he's gonna have like this inspirational idea. It's a syndicate. You get out when you die.
Yeah.
It's like a gang. It's literally like the Asian gang. You get out when you die. So when you die, you're out. So if they're complaining he's not there.
You die, so you die, you're out. Now I get it.
What?
You said when you get out, you die. So when you die, you're out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
In case you don't understand, race cars fell backwards as race car. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm just saying it seems to really make sense. Like the fifth episode, he should have died there. Why didn't he die? Because he can't. I mean, you can't die again. I mean, you can, but it's not real. Like if you're in a dream or if you're in purgatory, I mean, it can happen again, but it's not like a real.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Spike's such an ass, because he knows he's gonna be fine. You sing off key, because he knows like.
Yeah, exactly.
He's mocking his own spirit guides.
I know, he just has this feeling like this doesn't make sense. Like you're off key. Like and she smacks him. He's in a body cast, but it's hilarious. Like who would do that? Like who'd have the balls to do that?
Look at Jet. Like cutting his plant. And he's like, oh, I'm butchering it. Like I'm actually distracted for this guy. It's that's what I'm saying. Like he has a powerful story. I've died once before from a woman.
And because he says that, I died once before, it's almost like maybe he's not realizing it's a dream. Maybe he kind of has a feeling, but he's not fully sure. Like he's in a different realm, but he's not fully realizing. He said he died once before for a minute, which means that that was his real death. That was his first death. And so he thinks, because another idea of being in the afterlife is the fact is you don't really think you're dead. You think you're just replaying your life again. Like you're still here, you know?
Yeah.
And you're not sure. It could take some time to figure. Maybe this is all his process. This is his processing of figuring this out.
That's what I think. It's a process of one man's passage to death.
Because if you died before, you're, well, fully died. I mean, how are you alive here? Like, how are you? What if this is really just you died once before and now this is just you replaying things to get it right this time so you can move on, you know? But, like, Vicious is his demon. Julia's a phantasm, so she's like a wandering ghost. She can't move on. The demon can't fizzle out until Spike figures this out and kills it. But you see, that's what I was saying. At the very, very end, Jet was so hostile towards him, like, get out of here. You know, I don't want you here. Faye wouldn't listen to him. At the very end, once he finally decides, you know, I'm going to go finish this demon off, then there is his friend. Faye's falling in love with him. Everybody's like on his side, like, okay, you're free to do what you need to do. You know, like, oh man, dude, this felt really inspiring to talk about all this, dude. But you look like you're getting tired.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
Trying to do a little bit more in Summoner's War.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up here. Thanks, Altison, everybody else who was in the chat as well. Hopefully you're having a great morning. It is pretty early for you if you're on the East Coast. Still kind of early here too. Thanks for being here. I guess I'll try to put this on YouTube, but hopefully I don't do anything weird to my video. So we'll see. Probably not, because we didn't actually play any video. But so I guess next week, what do you want to do? Castlevania? You want to?
Yeah, we can talk a little about Castlevania.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'll do a little bit more research, remind myself.
I kind of need to as well. I do remember a lot, but you know, there is a lot of history, and especially with the new Castlevania stuff, which I haven't really delved into. I'm just going to focus on the old original timelines.
I suck at Castlevania. That's what I know.
What?
I suck at that game. That's what I know.
I kind of suck at some of them too. But
which game out of them? All of them. Every single one of them. I suck at every one of them.
I was good with the. I think it was Bloodlines, or no, it wasn't Bloodlines. The guy with the lance. I think that's why I like the new one too, because I can use a lance, I can use a spear. Unfortunately, I can't stick the spear up and down and angled like the old one, but Bloodstain's really cool, man.
With the Wii remote, why they never made a spear game with the Wii remote? You know?
No, you just point up with the attack, and he shoots the lance up through the floor.
I'm saying with the Wii remote, that would have been like a cool game where you could be like, cha.
Oh yeah. That would have been
swing it around and watch the person like fly off here. You know?
Yeah, that would have been cool. But dude, you gotta check out Bloodstained. Look up on PS4. Check out some videos. You might want to get it if they do have a co-op in there, because I only have it for the Steam, which Steam doesn't seem to have a co-op thing. But if they do show co-op for PS4, let me know. We'll actually play it together. So, yeah. So next week will be Castlevania. Hopefully everybody will have a great night. This has been Coffee with Crows with myself, Frank, and Brad here. And hope you enjoyed it. Follow, sub, all that stuff, and that'd be great. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow for some, well, technically today. I will see you later today for some Wanzer Hump Day, Wanzer Wednesdays. This will be Front Mission 4. We'll be playing. Should be awesome. So anyways, good night, everybody. Take care and sleep well.